Oh my word. What is up, everybody? Andy here. Biohazard Declassified as always. It's here, gang. Resident Evil 9 has finally, after what? 2 years of silence, we have finally had the announcement of a brand new Resident Evil. Resident Evil season is back. And let me tell you, people have really, really wanted something. There has been such a void in not only Resident Evil content creation, but just a void in the Resident Evil space. Like, you go on Twitter, you go on Facebook, YouTube, and for the last, I'd say at least 18 months, it's just been leaks. It's just been leaks. You know, oh, I think this is happening in Resident Evil. I've been guilty of it myself because we're just trying to fill that void between the last release and this release. So now we can finally, let me just tilt that down just a tad. There we go. So now we can finally get excited. Resident Evil is back on the table and it's going to be Resident Evil 9. We're going to be watching the trailer. We're going to be going through all of your comments. I'm going to be bringing them up on screen. We're going to have full breakdown of everything we saw at the Summer Game Fest and everything that's kind of been released since then. Capcom have released a couple of bits on their PR website, which I think is really cool. Resident Evil Wiki has already started to piece the pages together, which is absolutely glorious. And man, just totally left field. I did not expect to see what I saw with Resident Evil Requiem. To give you a bit of a backstory to how, like, really that initial event release at the Summer Games Fest, I got word about a week ago. No, I got word about a week ago that we were going to be having some Resident Evil content. It was either going to be at State of Play or it was going to be at Summer Game Fest. State of Play come and went, and then we were kind of back to where we were. It's probably going to be Summer Game Fest. We was live with the row at that point in time, and I kept getting updates on my phone from my contact who kept saying, yes, it's still happening today. I was like, is it going to be the last part of the show? Most likely. And yeah, the time was counting down and I was getting super nervous, gang. I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this. And then this was like totally left field. I don't know if I'll be able to bring it up on screen. I'm going to try and do that. But then, and whether this was a coincidence, I'm not sure. But let me just bring up my my socials here because this was fucking weird, brother. Let me where would it be now? Also, welcome in everybody. Andy here, Biohazard Declassified. We're going to be talking all things Resident Evil Requiem, so please stick around. I'm going to be bringing your comments up on the screen. It's going to be a full analysis like we used to do back in the day with Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 4. It is time. Resident Evil season is now upon us. So wherever you're watching, thank you for tuning in. And if you're not following us, please consider following us. I'm a dedicated Resident Evil and survival horror content creator. So let me just pull up this. This was crazy. This was happening. I was very busy during that show, updating my socials, and I'm glad I did because I'll go through in detail in a second. But let me just pull it up. Where was it? Man, this was ages ago. It feels like Friday was a lifetime ago for me. One moment. Oh my God, I've done so many posts since Friday. Here we go. Right. So let me see if I can pull this up for you, gang. Not sure if I'll be able to, but I'll try my best. We're using Restream to do all of this. So, uno momento, my friends. Window. Let me just do window. Hopefully you guys can see this. Not on that side screen, you can't. Let me blow this up. Okay, right. So this was like totally left field. Can I pull myself in? There we go. Right, cool. So this was like totally left field, right? So last time, this was a bit of an exclusive I got a couple of years ago when they was bringing out the Meta Quest version of Resident Evil 4. Oculus on their official website uploaded the video unlisted before they launched the trailer for Resident Evil 4. So we were spamming, like here at Biohazard HQ, we were spamming refresh on the website because we knew it was going to get announced in the next coming days. And holy shit, if you didn't realize, on YouTube, if you put something in a playlist but you leave it unlisted, it's still public. And I don't think Oculus realized that because we snipped the video, we put it up on our socials before they launched the official trailer. And I was really hoping it was going to be a similar thing. And I can't get the reaction up, but it was so priceless because JJ was talking along and I was like, holy shit, I've got something. Because if you have a look at the top there, I don't know if it's changed. I'll have to quickly have a look. But it says one unavailable is hidden. That post I put up at 9 o'clock, which was, it would have been 5 minutes. Excuse me. That would have been 7 minutes before the show started. And I said, look, one unavailable video is hidden. So I was like, it's coming. There has to be something today because Capcom have hid the video in the playlist. I think this turned out to be a little bit of a red herring, a little bit of a coincidence, which is crazy. Like, what are the odds that there happens to be another unavailable video in the Resident Evil Capcom USA playlist? And I was like, guys, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And oh my word, when the trailer dropped, I was like, I don't even know what I'm seeing right now, but I am liking it. It's very, very good. I'm really enjoying. By the way, we've nearly got 200 people in the chat today. Thank you all kindly. Wherever you're watching my stream today, thank you for tuning in. Please let me know, are you hyped for Resident Evil 9 and why? I'm not seeing a lot of detraction at the moment in what we saw. We have said for years we have wanted to return back to Raccoon City. I was thinking return back into Raccoon City in like 1998. I did not think they were going to be going back to Raccoon City like modern times where it's all exploded. There's also a ton of questions I have about that. I discussed them briefly on Row on the Residents of Evil stream that we were on when it got announced. But yeah, dude, God, just how is this like this in 2025? We are going back to the RPD. I am absolutely loving it, gang. And remember, we're going to be bringing up your comments in the stream. So if you're enjoying the stream so far, thank you kindly for tuning in. And man, let's start getting to it. Let me pull up this comment section. We have got a ton of people in the chat already. This is the first time I've been live on Facebook Gaming in, oh my God, well over a year and a half. So thank you everybody who's on Facebook right now. Thought I'd do a little bit of a special stream for our Facebook gaming friends. I don't often go live on Facebook, even though I do consider it my home. Can I do a top fans on here? I'm not sure if I can. I don't think we can. That's okay. Yeah, I don't often go live on Facebook. But we are today. We are today, and we are looking forward to hearing from everyone. So, Mr. Moore, Dan, thank you. Rywok, appreciate you. Emmy's in the chat. Good day, my friend. Thank you kindly. We're live over on Twitter as well. X, as they call it now. Didn't think you, Anthony Webber, didn't think you streamed on Facebook. Yes, we're streaming. It's a bit of a fun one today. So I thought, fuck it. We'll jump in and we'll shoot the shit with all of our friends. We got Resident Evil Wiki in the chat. Huge friend of the channel Resident Evil Wiki, and I am actually on the Resident Evil Wiki right now. As you can see, you can't see me, but I have seen you have started to populate it, which we will be going through in due course. I promise you. Thank you for popping by. Let me pull up your comment here. It's taking time. I checked multiple Japanese news sites Capcom regularly collabs with. All say the same thing. No interviews. Capcom is remaining quiet. Yeah, man. A lot of details in this trailer. Like some big ones come out. Like yes, Leon's going to be a part of it. Nothing about Alyssa or anything like that. I was quite shocked at that. Capcom did a really good job keeping that quiet. I did not think that was going to be the case. But thank you very much, Resident Evil Wiki. Please, everyone knows who Resident Evil Wiki is anyway, but please jump over to residentevil.fandom.com/wiki. Absolute champion of Resident Evil content. Adam, thank you kindly. The association with Outbreak is fucking crazy, bro. Outbreak is back in 2025. I must admit, I was a bit confused because people were saying, oh my God, Outbreak is now canon. I didn't think it wasn't canon. Like, when did that become? When was Outbreak non-canon? But maybe I'm a terrible Resident Evil fan. I don't know. Angel, So the Alyssa Ashcroft story might have another timeline. Yeah, it could be like one of those fractured storylines where they go back and forward, kind of like what they did with Revelations 2. They did that way back when. Maybe they do a similar deal to that, like Alyssa's playing and then you play as Grace and it all kind of like makes sense at the end, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. I'm very looking forward to it though. Game trailer looks awesome. Heard Leon Kennedy is back in town in some form or another. So, dudes, my God, I need to show you this as a matter of urgency because this post was a huge post for me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just absolute insanity. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Here we go. Just a crazy amount of like interaction on it. And by the way, I'll pull this up now. And this is not me gloating or anything like that. This is fact. This is fact as to how big Resident Evil is right now. Let me pull it up. Where's that tweet? Here we go. Right, cool. Let me see if I can pull this up. There we go. Not that one. As you can tell, cutting edge technology here at Biohazard Declassified. Dude, it's Resident Evil season. I'm super hyped for this. Let me... Here we go. Right, so... I'm such a boomer. I do apologize. You should be able to see it. I'm going to try and blow it up as best I can. That screen. Let me... Look at this shit, gang. 14... This is just on Facebook. 14 million views in the last... What metric is this on? Actually, let me make this a little bit clearer. I can't do by day. 13.4 million views on Biohazard Declassified on Facebook. So thank you for everyone who's interacted with the post. But I'm not necessarily focusing on that. What I'm focusing on is just how big the hype for Resident Evil 9 is. Because every single post I've put up has just fucking absolutely flown to the stars. People really want to see the next Resident Evil. And as I said, I've not seen a lot of negativity around Resident Evil Requiem. Like, you know, with Village when it was launched, everyone's like, oh, I don't play as Ethan, not a fan of Ethan, etc. It's first person. That's something else that I really want to talk to you guys about. Is it going to be first person? Is it going to be third person? That's not answered at all in the trailer. I'm sure it might be answered in a future event. Are we going to see maybe more? We have to see, I suppose, more trailers in the next 6 months in the lead up to the release date, which is February 28th, 27th, 28th, 2026. Absolutely glorious. So, yeah, the posting question that I really wanted to talk to you guys about was this one. Oh, man, you can't quite see what the text says. So I'll have to pull it up on Twitter. So what if Leon's journey comes to an end in Resident Evil Requiem? It would be poetic if Leon was to return to Raccoon City only to perish. His first day as a police officer and his last. Obviously, he's not a police officer now. That's kind of me just being an idiot with wordage, but you get what I'm saying. It was this kind of first entry into that law enforcement, secret service. His real introduction to the world that he lives in now. And what if he goes back to Raccoon City and poetically, it's his last day. He perishes where he should have, like Final Destination, dude. He perishes in Raccoon City like he should have done all that time ago in 1998 on his first day. This got a ton of interaction, gang. I think we're sitting at like 600,000 views, 18k likes. On Facebook, 9,000 likes, which is unheard of for a recent post. I don't know if I can see the insights to this, but people really engaged with this. I'm not necessarily like zoning in on, oh my God, look how the fantastic numbers I generated. I'm more so thinking of people really interacted with this post specifically. Like, this is really getting everybody's gears turning. Do we see the end of Leon S. Kennedy? And I would like to say yes. I know there are a lot of people that are kind of weird about like main characters dying. I like to think Last of Us is a bit of a red herring. That went down a different direction that I don't think anybody wanted. But I think if they could do it in a very tactful way, kind of like what they did with Piers, where he kind of saves people, or something that it's not like a loser's death. They don't just kill him off like they did Joel, for example. They make it meaningful. They make it tactful. Maybe there is mileage in that. They've never killed. They've never killed off, and I have to word my words very, very specifically. But they've never killed off a long-standing protagonist in Resident Evil. The only one I can think of is obviously Ethan, but he was already kind of dead in Resident Evil 7, as we know in Resident Evil Village, and he's not that. Like, I think you're crazy to say that Ethan, Leon, and Chris Redfield all have the same shared interest in the community. I think we're getting to the point where these characters are really old. And I said this on stream with the Residents of Evil. These characters are really old. They've already gone through their character arcs and changes. And there's not really a lot more you can do with them. Like, look at Resident Evil Death Island. You had like Chris being infected by like a virus or whatever, because there isn't much to do with these characters because they are just like all out machines now. They've gone through that change. Leon is no longer that rookie cop. Chris is no longer that naive sharpshooter that he was in the mansion incident. He's no longer looking for his sister. He's no longer going through that character change. So it's very hard to. You can't just plop these characters into a Resident Evil game and expect it to be successful. It's got to have real character development behind it. And that's why Capcom elect to bring in people like Ethan Winters, Grace Ashcroft. Grace Ashcroft has that connection back to Raccoon City. She has that connection back to Resident Evil unintentionally through Alyssa Ashcroft. And that's what makes it relatable, because it's very hard. Like, I'm not relating to Leon S. Kennedy now. He's like this fucking Secret Service super soldier, Am I saying that we should kill off these characters? But I wouldn't be against it, is what I'm trying to suggest. So people in the comments, don't take me out of context. I'm not wishing that Leon dies, but if any character is going to die in Resident Evil 9, it should be Leon S. Kennedy, in my opinion. We're going to go back through the comments here, gang. Remember, we're bringing up comments on the screen. I'm going to be answering your questions. We're going to be going through the trailer, and hopefully you guys can pick up on stuff that we see throughout the trailer that maybe I haven't considered, and some additional analysis thereafter. So can we minimize this? I think we can somewhere. Let's hide this, and then we're going to get back to your comments. Dude, look at this, by the way. I don't even know if I can bring this up, actually. Can I overlay it? This fucking grungy background they got here. Let me overlay this. It's fucking glorious, bro. Not that one. This one. There we go. Look at this shit. That is absolute, unadulterated Resident Evil 9. It reminds me of like an old PlayStation box art. Like, I actually put on Twitter, it kind of looks like In Cold Blood, if you guys remember that. It was like an old PS1 game. Really awesome. But yes, let's go through the comments. I'm talking a lot. I'm gonna have to have a drink because like my mouth is absolutely killing me. This is gonna be an exclusive, like, just chatting stream. We're gonna be bringing stuff up on screen and talking about Resident Evil, but for all intents and purposes, it's gonna be just chatting. Appreciate everybody popping by. Okie dokie. Cool cookies in the chat. Thank you, Michelangelo. Appreciate you. Najib, thank you. Solid Fire. Appreciate you. Flown, an Outbreak remake would be great. By the way, I'm 15 minutes behind in the chat, so just going to catch up here. Kate, Mads, Don Pablo, Richard Walker. Thank you all. Here we go. Richard, I honestly half expected them to continue the story after Village, since Chris was going to be a BSAA HQ, but it looks like I've taken a different direction, and returning to Raccoon City would be sick. Yes, as I said earlier, I didn't expect them to literally go to Raccoon City now. I thought they would return to Raccoon City, kind of like what they did with Operation Raccoon City, where it was in that timeline, it was telling a different story of a different team. I thought they'd do something like that. I did not expect them to literally visit Raccoon City modern day. That's pretty cool. Michael, super hyped. Loved the tone of it. Feels like a proper horror. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving there's nothing negative I've seen so far. I'm looking forward to it. Algie, why am I getting the feeling of one of the OG characters going to die. Well, we was talking about this earlier. I think if we've got some indication. I mean, Dust Golem has confirmed that Leon is going to be quite heavily present. And some of the other people I've been talking to in the community that are kind of keeping quiet are like, yeah, Leon's going to be in it. There's going to be a lot of stuff involving Leon and marketing moving forward. But yes, absolutely, Leon's going to be in it, and maybe we do get that death. We do wonder. Caesar, it would be amazing if we can explore a part-formed Arkley Forest, maybe the ruins of the Spencer Mansion. Potentially. I mean, I'd like to see that. That'd be cool. The problem is, it depends on what... Because in Resident Evil 1 Remake, that mansion is destroyed. Like, really destroyed. Like, nuclear explosion in the forest destroyed. Just blown to smithereens. So... I think it was less blown up in Resident Evil 1, the original, but we'll see. We'll see. Flown, do you think we're getting zombies as main enemies? Yes, I do. I mean, it looks like it from the... If you look at the thumbnail of my video, kind of looks like that anyway, so I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe we'll definitely get some, like, other creatures and bits and pieces, but we'll see. Alan, very much mirroring my comments. Just going to say it, hoping Leon gets killed off. Mostly just for poetic sides of it. I had people telling me, that's not poetic at all. Bro, how is that not poetic? How is Leon S. Kennedy, who started his first day in Raccoon City as a police officer, then going back to Raccoon City and then perishing, not poetic? He should have died in 1998 and he didn't. And his life was completely course corrected after Raccoon City, that huge traumatic experience. Why wouldn't it be poetic that this location that's eluded him all of those years? You got to think in Resident Evil 4, the original, the opening sequence, 1998, I'll never forget it. You know, he is deeply traumatized by the events of Raccoon City. So why wouldn't it be poetic that he goes back to Raccoon City, and obviously he knows his way around. He's been to Raccoon City before. He knows the RPD. And actually, no, he doesn't know the RPD because that's where he perishes, etc. I think it'd be really cool. I hope I haven't spoiled that for everyone. What if that does happen? That'd be funny. Hyped is an understatement. The fact that we're getting the current timeline Leon main game, possibly his last, is crazy. Yeah, I hope that theory builds momentum. That would be amazing. Yeah, did you stop streaming games? I did not. No, you can find me if you're watching on Facebook. You can find me over on YouTube, over on Twitch. I go live every week. I'm actually changing my schedule around. Bit of an announcement. My new schedule is now Fridays and Sundays, not Wednesdays and Fridays, just because it works out better for me. It's always a rush on Wednesdays to get the stream set up. I'm never quite happy with how it all happens. So yes, Friday and Sunday are our new streaming dates moving forward. So if you want to check me out over there, you can. I'm live right now on those platforms, YouTube and Twitch, both same handle, Biohazard Declassified. Joshua, thank you. Fabio, appreciate you dropping by. Beggy Borg's in the chat, thank you kindly. Michael says, what do you think is the reason we return to the RPD? What could be there? Well, I'm going to put that to everybody in the chat. What are we going to see? What are we going to see in the RPD? That was unintentionally rhythmic. And also, where is that? Oh, actually, where is this Witcham, Renwood Hotel, excuse me. Where is that? I don't know. Maybe it was in the trailer and I missed it. Ironically, I haven't watched the trailer a whole amount. During the Row React stream, I was kind of like doing all the socials, getting the trailer up on the Residents of Evil. I was doing a lot of stuff behind the back end, so I haven't had a chance to really study the trailer. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Demo Morgs in the chat. Thank you kindly. Big up, Mr. Resident Evil. We are so back. There is no better feeling, gang, than Resident Evil season. The lead up to a Resident Evil release from it, when it gets announced all the way to when it gets released, there is no better feeling, let me tell you. Don Pablo, Resident Evil Anonymous Shop, what time to be alive? I agree. Jennifer, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Made in Heaven 1998. There's going to be more gameplay footage at Gamescom in August. I have heard that. As ever, I take these things with a pinch of salt, but That has been something I have heard. I'm hoping we do, because there's not a lot of conventions in between now and the release date. I can think of Gamescom, TGS, and maybe the Game Awards. So yeah, now's the time to really start jumping on hype for Resident Evil 9. They're saying it's the biggest Resident Evil game ever made. So if they want to recoup some of that back on a return on investment, they've really got to start putting in the hours in the marketing department, I would suggest. But yes, 100% agree. Cedric, thank you. Mr. Moore, thank you kindly. Jamie with a great question here. By the way, actually, just before we get into this, I'll put it on screen just so I don't forget. How shit was the Summer Game Fest? Like, a little bit of a rant, but I am really tired of seeing all of these fucking like dark fantasy roguelike games. They all look the same, and it's even worse when they're all back to back on the stream. Honestly, like, outside of Resident Evil Requiem, that was fucking boring as shit. Like, the whole event was really shit, to be honest. And I hope I'm not the only person saying that. One moment. Can't do two things at once. I'm a man. Can't be the only person who's saying that. It was, yeah, a real painful watch, to be honest. Just really boring as fuck. Do you think this will be the last one? Now, that is the question of all questions, because if you look at the definition of Requiem, because I was like, I'm so stupid, I don't actually know what Requiem means. So it says, Requiem, a mass for the repose of the souls of the dead, a musical composition for the certain parts of a Requiem mass or a similar character, irrelevant, or an act or token of remembrance. So this could be the last Resident Evil game ever. I mean, I would like to say it probably won't be the last Resident Evil, because companies love endless growth. They're not just going to be like, oh, we're going to stop making Resident Evil because we're allergic to money all of a sudden. So I'm sure they will get more. I'm sure we'll get more Resident Evils. Maybe we'll get more side games, but yeah, maybe this is the last main line. It could be. It may well be. But I won't be shocked if it's not. So October says, I think Kevin Ryman or Carlos is that voice. Be cool if Nikolai is the main baddie. I've seen that. I've also seen Wesker coming back. I'd really like to know how they explain that. But his face is all burnt, so we'll see. But yes, I actually thought that voice was Leon, where he's like, I can't remember exactly what it says. He says something in it like, oh, it was really bad, or remember that days. I remember it was bad, whatever he says. But yes, that would be cool. Mad says Nick Apostolidis is confirmed to voice Leon in RE9 due to his IMDb. Now, it is worth noting that is not always true. Like, sometimes IMDb just says these things and people can edit it and basically come up with what they want. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily believe that to be accurate. Holy shit, we've got a lot of people over on YouTube. Thank you kindly, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Remember, we're live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and X today. So feel free to jump between the platforms. It's the same handle on all of them, all at Biohazard Declassified. But yes, do not believe this, because do not be shocked if they change it, because that's not always correct. Cooper with a fucking camera, the boy. I reckon Outbreak may be the multiplayer element of the game. Scenarios maybe DLC would be the kind of mercs of the game. Now, that is very interesting, because I did make, I'm not saying that you copied me. It means that, handsome men share the same thoughts, I'm sure. But yeah, I put this earlier, that what if the multiplayer component of Requiem is Outbreak? It does make sense. We now have the Outbreak connection. And I'm not saying they do the whole thing, but maybe they do scenarios from Raccoon City. If we're going to be in Raccoon City, and we've already got the RE engine Raccoon City in the wild there, why are we not making scenarios showing survivors escaping Raccoon City or perishing in Raccoon City? There's nothing to say that these survivors have to necessarily survive, or people, you players, excuse me. But maybe, you know, like what they did with the what was that DLC for Resident Evil 2 remake? Forgotten Soldier? Oh my god, it's gone out of my head. Ghost Survivors, I think it was called. Why don't we do something like that? It could be what if scenarios, it could be anything. I think there's a lot of mileage in that, Mr. Cooper with a camera. A lot of mileage. Ben Redfield's in the chat, thank you. Dan City, whoa, I've not thought of this at all, but could there be a connection to Resident Evil 9 and the current live action movie? Now, from what I've read of the movie, both, you know, on the record and off the record, because a lot of stuff's been floating around about the movie, which is very interesting. And I mean, a lot of content has floated about off the record. But from what I've seen, doesn't look like it is. It looks like it's its own canon again. But we'll see. Things change all the time, as we know. I can't confirm or deny. But all that I will say, Dan, is from what I've seen, absolutely not. But things do change. Made in heaven. Made in heaven. Made in heaven. Love it. Time for Capcom to port Outbreak with new servers, Resistance, and RE7 were down. Outbreak is it. Yes, and actually, shout out, I did retweet them earlier. You got to have a PC for this. But let me pull this up on the screen. I'm going to be doing this a lot, gang, so I do apologize. Let me pull this up on the screen. Here we go. This is from Claire Draculina over on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. If anyone wants to play Outbreak, I have the game set up with online everything where all you got to do is unzip and play. Because if you didn't know, Resident Evil Outbreak is actually having a massive resurgence on the private servers. If you don't know, you can play Resident Evil Outbreak in 2025 using private servers and an emulator. But we've got a record high viewership now. 5,000 people are playing Resident Evil Outbreak on Saturday. Crazy work, man. Absolutely crazy work. And you put that into context that Resident Evil RE gets like 20 viewers or something on a good day on PC. This blows it out the water. So everyone is super hyped for this. So if you want to check out this Twitter user, I haven't verified this as a little bit of a disclaimer, but this Claire Draculina has put, if you want to play it, I'll have the game set up with online everything. All you got to do is unzip it and play. And I'm pretty sure I do have that file somewhere. It is very easy to set up once it is set up. So yeah, shout out to that content creator for, again, preserving Resident Evil Outbreak. But yes, I'll be down for that. I think the architecture is too old. That's all I'd say. Made in heaven. To do something like that very easily, like they've done with the Classics Collection, as Gold Collection. They're a lot easier because the Gold Collection is just a wrapper they've put on top of the original PC versions to make them run on modern hardware. I'm actually going to open the door because I noticed I'm starting to get a bit sweaty. And the Classics Collection is just a PS1 port, so the architecture is super difficult. We will see what's possible. I'd like to see that. What do you guys think? Do you want to see Outbreak in 2025 with a modern hardware, but the original version? Let me know. I'd lean towards a remake. They've got the assets for it. It'd be a fairly easy asset flip. I say fairly easy. I appreciate that is extremely flippant because I'm not a game developer, but it's got to be a hell of a lot easier to reuse some assets than kind of go back to the drawing board when a lot of these assets already exist, like Raccoon City, the underground, the laboratories. All of this already exists, so why can't you make use of it? I'm actually going to open the door because I'm sweaty as fuck. So give me a second. Donna, how's it going? Great to have you in the chat. Fabio, thank you kindly. So I'm just going to bring this over. Okie dokie. So great question here by Super Mr. Crazy Man. Did the forest survive the nuke of Raccoon City? Question is, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, a logical answer would be no, it didn't. But what it was worth noting is a nuclear bomb didn't hit Raccoon City. From what I've read online, it was actually a thermobaric missile. Because one of my questions was, how on earth is Grace, the intern or whatever analyst she is at the FBI, how is she going to Raccoon City when that has to be one of the most irradiated places on Earth in lore, outside of maybe fucking Chernobyl and Fukushima? And a lot of people in the chat actually corrected me and said it wasn't a nuke that hit Raccoon City, it was a thermobaric missile. And actually, that's further backed up in the fact there's a crater, because typically nuclear weapons don't hit the ground, they detonate in the air. They don't leave craters like there is in Raccoon City. So that leans into that thermobaric missile theory. Otherwise, I don't know how they're going to explain how Grace can walk around Raccoon City and not be completely irradiated and turn into a ghoul from Fallout. But yeah, I don't think that's ever been described in the lore. I'm sure maybe someone can clarify that for me, but that would be appreciated. Right, catching up. Hey, how's it going, Tim? Let me just have a quick swig. How have you been, bud? It's been off. It's been a while. Off. Hopefully you can remember me. Fucking hell. Sorry, Tim. I can't get my words out. Hopefully you can remember me. You're looking good, bro. Cannot wait for Resident Evil 9. Listen, it's Resident Evil season, boy. I appreciate you joining in, and I'm so excited to be finally talking about a brand new Resident Evil game. Appreciate you as always, Tim. Nick, how's it going? Thank you. Elizabeth's in the chat. Yeah, it's in the chat. Let's go, Daddy. Khalid. Which past Resident Evil characters do you think will show up in Resident Evil 9? I think we've had Leon so far. A lot of people talking about Wesker. Obviously, Alyssa. Looks like you can be playing as Alyssa, maybe. I don't know. It's so much to go over, gang. It really is. So Resident Evil Wiki's got an answer. It's great having Resident Evil Wiki in the chat because he's quite literally an oracle of Resident Evil. He's like my chat GPT. He really is. A few people thought Outbreak was non-canon back in the day, which was due to multiple missiles destroying the city and the Leon Easter egg in Desperate Times. I never took that last one seriously, since you have to export the police car to see him. Yeah, agreed. I think that's accurate. And for all intents and purposes, can you recap what that Easter egg is with Leon? Because I can't actually remember that. Rob says, and Rob, thank you for the resubscription over on Twitch. I'll be going through the super chats in just a moment. So, who will be the hero of the Capcom movies? So, it looks like they're going to be doing another original character. Made in Heaven. He returns to Raccoon City, but why? That's the question. It's the last place he'd want to be unless it's against his will. Yeah, I mean, they've got to think creatively as to why he needs to go back to Raccoon City, but I'm sure all will be clear in time. So I'm just going through a lot of these comments. Daniel, thank you. The Dude, appreciate you. This is a great question. I'd love to know everybody's thoughts on this. Capcom should include first person, third person, fixed cameras. Players could choose the perspective, just like selecting music in RE2 Remake. I'm definitely on board with maybe doing a first and a third person. I think fixed cameras, even though I'm an old school Resident Evil fan, as you can see, I just don't think it works for a modern platform. I really don't. I think it's a time locked game design quirk. Even though I love it so much, I just don't think it works as a modern Resident Evil. There's so many more. If they do something like that, you got to think from a games design point of view, if they do something like that, they now have to rework everything to work in three perspectives. That's why when you play Resident Evil Village, it doesn't feel like third person, even though you're playing third person, because it was designed to be a first person game. Just it's I can't explain it, gang. It feels very rigid. It doesn't have that fluidity that 2 and 3 remake did. Mark, great to have you in chat. Bob Cobb, love it. Andy, you should know the answer to this. Did Nikolai survive RE3 or not? I'm thinking because he played an important part of the Outbreak story, that he could be an RE9. I didn't think about that, but you are absolutely right. There's nothing to say he didn't survive RE3 because he was left on a rooftop. I mean, bit of plot armor. I guess another helicopter could have swooped in, picked him up, and took him somewhere. But we didn't really see a lot in that final cutscene with Jill, where she flew away and it looked like she was the last helicopter to leave. Maybe that happens. I'm not sure. I think it would be a big stretch if he does do that. But we will see, gang. I'm going to put this on screen because it looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing. There we go. Can I put this one? Oh, that looks shit, man. No, I'll change my mind. Again, guys, I'm slowly and steadily going through all of your comments about Resident Evil Requiem. So if you do have any questions, please comment. I'm about 10 minutes behind on the comments. I'm coming through them quite quickly though. Okie dokie. Ronald, how's it going? I'm hoping gameplay will be third person, and I'm hoping none of the RE7 and Village will be relevant to the main plot. These games aren't even canon to me. Yeah, I'm like not a fan of the Ethan Winters saga. I just didn't find it that fun to play. And actually, if you look on my channel, it's like one of the Village and 7 are like the fewest, the games that I've played the fewest. That don't make sense. The games I've played the least on the channel because they are boring as fuck to play. To me, anyway. I just don't find Ethan that interesting. And the problem is, the reason why he's not that interesting, especially in Resident Evil 7, is because they gave him no, I don't know, they gave him no substance, in my opinion. Like, it really felt like they wanted you to be Ethan because it was Resident Evil's first big return to first person. So the way that first person is capitalized on is if you make the character you are the Resident Evil. You are Ethan Winters. So, and because of that, I just didn't find it that fun. Looks like a Silent Hill 1 cover. Love that. Yes, it does. That actually does look like a Silent Hill 1 cover. Looks like the Resi 2 cover. It actually looks like the GameCube Resident Evil remake from the Power region. Kevin, thank you for tuning in. I'm flying through these. Mark Walker, Grace Ashford. Was she ever mentioned in any Resident Evil games? She was not. And it wasn't even, I don't ever think it's been noted that Alyssa was a mother. So I'll be interested to know how that all happened, how she existed, and more importantly, how Alyssa dies and what Alyssa does after Raccoon City. And it is worth noting, it really is worth noting that Alyssa does have a diary entry or a newspaper article in Resident Evil 7, and Resident Evil Requiem and 7 have the same director. So Alyssa is in Resident Evil 7. I'll be interested to know what her connection is. That's pretty crazy how that's all come about. Would it be a huge arse pull if they brought back Wesker? Yes, potentially. I do think that Resident Evil was really affected by the loss of Albert Wesker, because to me, Resident Evil felt like a conflict between Chris and Wesker that went through all of these games, and it was finally concluded in RE5. And ever since then, Capcom have been like scratching around for that all important antagonist, and I don't think they've had an antagonist on the level of Albert Wesker. I'd like to know what everybody thinks of that. That's interesting, actually, Elizabeth. Elizabeth makes a fantastic point. Claire needs to be in here. So could we, assuming that Leon does potentially perish in Raccoon City Part 2, how is he perishing without Claire being there? And you guarantee you guys, if Leon's in Resident Evil 9, Ada is probably in Resident Evil 9 too. Leon's got a thing for Ada and she goes wherever he goes. John Redwood, do you think Leon will play Nick will play Leon in Resident Evil 9? If you don't know who Nick is, that is the Resident Evil 2 remake and 4 remake Leon. We will see. I mean, I really like Nick as a person. I'd like to see him reprise his role once again. We'll see. Again, guys, if I miss your comments, it's absolutely flying past right now. I will try and get to all of them as much as I can. Raccoon City Pizza, pretty sure I saw Jack's bar interior in the trailer. We're going to have a look at it once again and then break through it. If you think it comes up, let us know. Mike's in the chat. It looks like Spencer with the velvet chair, old record player. He has long hair and is wearing a snakeskin type of coat with gloves. So you think it's Spencer in the chair? Interesting. We'll see. Michael, return to the Star's office for remains of evidence or personal items. What is this for Leon? Like a justified reason to go back to the RPD? He doesn't really have a lot of personal effects in the RPD because it's his first day. So I'd like to think I can't see that being the reason. It'd have to be something substantial. It'd have to be like someone's been kidnapped, Claire's been kidnapped, or someone of real importance. But the problem is, everybody is on like fucking super steroids as a character now. Like everybody is past the point of the character arc of being a damsel in distress. That's why it was really difficult for me to understand in Death Island how like Rebecca was like abducted or whatever she was in Death Island. That film was so shit, man. Because like she's already gone through Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1. She should be battle hardened to fuck. She's not like a damsel in distress at all. Did Marathon appear in any capacity at SGF? I do not think so. No, I don't remember seeing it. Demo Morgue. Way too many Souls-like games and anime games. It was a really rough SGF. I agree. I just don't. I think it's so like oversaturated now. This happened with zombie games. I remember like it was like 2017, 2018. There'd just been so many zombie games to the point like it starts to blur. You had like Walking Dead, Dead Island, Dying Light, obviously Resident Evil in the background, and all these other. You know, there was that famous Angry Joe. You know, hey Joe, you want to play a zombie game? Like that happened. But yes, and now it's dark fantasy, it's Souls-like, and it's anime. Again, I was watching these trailers going, bro, every game looks the same. Like they've not even gone through the effort of splitting them up throughout the event. They're all back to back. Like imagine if they put Resident Evil and Silent Hill back to back. Like I'd be pissed off if I was Capcom or Konami because I'd be like, dude, like you've not allowed our trailer enough time to breathe. You've just gone, and I suspect that's the reason why this wasn't shown at State of Play. This was shown at Summer Game Fest. That was an internal decision because Silent Hill F was getting shown at State of Play. I truly believe that's the reason why that's not the case. Because it's conflicting. I'm not saying people can't tell the difference between Silent Hill and Resident Evil, but if you're seeing it for the first time, like not everybody is like a diehard Resident Evil fan like me. You've got to appreciate it's a lot of casual people. Like I know nothing about Souls-like games. I know nothing about roguelike games. I know nothing about anime style games. So if I'm seeing that for the first time and they're all back to back, I'm thinking they're all the same game, to be honest. And I swear, ever since I've said this before, ever since the release of Legend of Zelda, what's the game called? Breath of the Wild. ever since that game's released, every game has that weird cell shaded cartoon look. And it's all on a floating island, and it's all in the mountains, and it's all on the shores. It's all got water in it and shit. They all look the same, bro. It's annoying. Ballistic, my good friend Ballistic. Evening, Andy and all. I've got a question. Was Raccoon City officially nuked, or was it a different kind of missile detonation? The reason why I ask is, wouldn't a nuke require a certain amount of time for the site is safe to return to? So we did discuss that a little bit of detail about 10 minutes ago. And yeah, 100% that's the question I'm asking. Why are they sending Grace back to an ex detonated site? But a lot of people have corrected me and have said that it's not a nuclear bomb, it was a thermobaric missile. So it doesn't have like the nuclear fallout that a nuclear bomb would have. And that's also indicated by the fact that there's a crater, because traditionally, with a nuclear weapon, you wouldn't have a crater, because the nuclear weapon quite often detonates like at 100 feet or whatever. It never detonates when it hits the ground. Moreno, thank you. Appreciate you. We are, dude. I swear I'm catching up, and I'm falling back behind. I'm currently I'm coming up to 30, so I'm about 20 minutes behind. Darren, thank you. Heather's in the chat. James, thank you. Critical Ether, appreciate you dropping by. We play an Outbreak. We're not playing Outbreak. I was just like fucking putting it in the chat. Oh, shit, we are really far behind. Let me catch up here. Snakes in the chat. Thank you kindly. Big Snake Stogies in the chat. Appreciate you. Quentin, thank you for making time for us today. Keisha, why would they use the RPG in the remake? And that's actually from Remake instead of the old RE2 station. My thoughts behind that is they now regard the RE2 remake as canon, and the old one is not canon, unfortunately. Stars in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you dropping by. Axel, think there's a possibility of Kevin from Outbreak File 2 having a surprise appearance in Resident Evil 9, since there's a possibility of surviving the missile attack. I'd like to see it. I don't see why they shouldn't. I mean, they're bringing back Alyssa. It's very hard for me to think that they just bring back Alyssa and don't bring back anyone else from Outbreak. Like, is that more of a far out theory than Leon dying at the end of Resident Evil 9? I think we're definitely going to see. Surely we have to see. We have to see more Outbreak characters. Thank you very much for that, Shadow Lord. How's it going? This is a great question, dude. This is a great question that I've not spoken about. Given we're seeing bodies turn up in the same pathology from Raccoon City, does this mean the T virus survived or has or hell mutated from? Oh, sorry, or hell mutated from the radiation. Again, I don't think there's going to be any radiation because it's the thermobaric missile. But to answer your question, it's absolutely possible that the T virus makes a return. I don't know whether Umbrella classified it and the government classified the use of the T virus, and it just got destroyed from Raccoon City and never appeared again. I can't remember. Maybe it did and it's been used elsewhere, but I really can't remember. But yeah, it's entirely possible that it's like the Black Death in the UK. That's why everyone's scared to dig down in Blackheath in London. It's because they're scared about the Black Death coming back. Well, at least that was the story I was told. Lilith, how's it going? Again, guys, if you're watching on Facebook and it's been ages since you tuned into me, I do go live every week, Friday and Sunday, over on YouTube and Twitch. Always live there. So I had to stop streaming on Facebook just because it killed my reach. But I thought, today's a fun one. We're kind of live everywhere. Why not just go live on Facebook and answer your questions about Resident Evil 9? And hopefully we all learn stuff together. Guy, thank you kindly. What do you think the combat is going to be on Resident Evil 9? Are you suspecting there's going to be melee weapons? Is that your thought process? That'd be interesting. I mean, worked really well in a Silent Hill 2 remake. So yeah, we'll see. Dark Ota's in the chat. The fucking boy. The current modern is now the new outdated. Resident Evil going back to a fixed camera with a more updated version would be a breath of fresh air. It does work. You just need the right people to do it. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Old school fixed camera angle player here. I'd really like to see a resurgence in it, but I think they just have to be smart and tactful in how they deliver it. Like, for example, I think it took Resident Evil something like it was like 2012 or something before they started having walking and aiming. Now, for the most amount of people in the Resident Evil community, that's not a problem. But to bring new people into the space, it's really important you adopt the current conventions of game design. And yeah, they'd need to work it so it's just interesting for not only the hardcore fans, because you've got to think as well, like survival horror is a niche in a niche. So trying to make that appeal to the greater audience is very difficult. So yeah, I'd like to see a fixed camera angle return. I just don't know what that looks like for Capcom in 2025. But thank you, Dark Eye. Always a pleasure. Never a chore. Do we see the return of Leon or Ada? I mean, wherever Leon's going to be, I'm sure Ada is going to be. I don't think there's been a Resident Evil game with Leon that's not had Ada in it. Logan, I've heard of Apple Inn Hotel, but Tenwood Hotel we've never seen. Do you think it's in Raccoon City or another location? I'm not sure. That was a question I had actually, and it's actually Wrenwood Hotel, and it's spelt like the bird wren, so WREN, Wrenwood Hotel. We'll see. Solid Snake, agreed. Also hated Ethan and Winter Saga. Shadows of Rose, dude. I was playing that, even though I played it with my boys and we had a lot of fun. Fuck me, man. Like, why are we Mist of Might and Magic fucking Harry Potter shit, man? Fuck that off. Where's survival horror? Lloyd, appreciate you dropping by. Always a pleasure. Quentin, thank you kindly. Like beginning hour. Maybe we do see. Would you guys like to see that? Like a beginning hour style demo for Resident Evil 9? Because at the moment, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if it's third person. I don't know if it's first person. It'd be interesting. Umbrella Corps implies Wesker somehow survives RE5 and operated in the background. That way, Capcom can reuse him if they're out of ideas. I've heard fan speculations that a part of his Ouroboros body regenerated on the volcano. Entirely possible. Absolutely entirely possible. And actually, when I spoke to DC Douglas, he mirrored those thoughts. Do you not think, though, guys, let's talk about this right now. Do you not think it's an easy way out for Capcom to bring Wesker back? Like, it's very hard. I appreciate it's very hard to write a villain that's because at the end of the day, with Wesker, we've got like 25, 30 years of lore for Wesker. So it's very easy to like build him into a story. It's very hard to like establish a brand new villain and establish his motivations, why he's doing this, why he is doing or her, why they are doing the things that they are doing. That's very interesting. I don't know. I think it's the easy way out to bring Wesker back, but I really want to know everyone's thoughts on that. It's like fucking Hulk Hogan coming back for the 60th run, you know? Yep. Mark brings up a great point. Wasn't Spencer violated by Wesker in 5? He certainly was. Yeah, I mirror your points, man. I don't think they should bring back Wesker or Spencer. Ericster, thank you. Star, appreciate you. Michael, maybe maybe Chris going back for his long lost jacket. What, his Made in Heaven jacket? He like picks it up from the rubble and like it's missing an arm and missing the zip, and he puts it on, and he's like the Queen fucking Made in Heaven starts playing in the background at the end of the story. Boom, 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 boom. Kevin, great question here. What were your thoughts on ill? Because obviously we're talking about Summer Game Fest. So if you don't know what ill is, a lot of us thought it was just like a tech demo for what was possible in Unreal Engine. It was just a cutscene or a meme of what's to come. But ill was debuted again at the Summer Game Fest. I think that's really interesting because it looks to be real. I did not think it was real, but yes, I'm excited for it. I want to see what else they do with it, like what substance they put behind it, aside from it just looking really cool. Although that kicking the baby in the face was definitely definitely necessary. Michael, this is a great question, dude. RPD was a former museum. Maybe they are hidden cult symbols or clues linked to the elaborate puzzles from the main game. Holy shit, imagine that coming full circle. I'd be down for that. What a great fucking idea. Well done, Michael. I love that. You're right. There is so much story that, or so much content they can tell with RPD being a former museum. Man, love that. Really like that. We need more shit like that, dude. Nate's in the chat. Let's fucking go. We're nearly caught up, gang. So Bobcod's got an interesting one here. A few people in the RE Facebook groups think I'm reaching, but I bet the girl walking down the dark hallway in the teaser is Yoko. It looks like she could be carrying her special book bag. Man, I'd really like to see it. I keep saying it, but I really want to see more of the Outbreak characters. If the, it's in for a penny, in for a pound. If they're already bringing back one Outbreak character, why not bring back them all? Astora Souls, let's fucking go. How's it going? I mean, RE using assets would be easier than remaking the OG RPD. Also, for newer fans to recognize what's going on and not confuse them. Yes, yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I'm assuming this is the answer of why they're not using the original RPD. Yeah, absolutely. They treat the remake canon as their canon. Joshy boy, want to see Mark return? Let's fucking go. Tom Mancini, appreciate you. Long time no speak. Dustin, also using the OG police. Yep, of course. Yeah, sorry, I've answered this question. Thank you very much for that, Dustin. Johnny Bridge, appreciate you dropping by. Thorskin's in the chat. Scientists did say in Outbreak that there were specimens alive in the ruins. Well, there you go. Maybe we've got. Although, what's happening with it? Is it like Chernobyl, where there's just like an exclusion zone around it and you can't go in? Is that regularly guarded? Can you just break into Raccoon City? I mean, how? I understand why they want to go back to Raccoon City, but what are the logistics of actually getting into Raccoon City? That will be the interesting one for me. Hurley, how's it going? Great to have you in the chat. Roger, the T-virus used in the animated movies. Remember, guys, man, we're seeing a lot of new face or a lot of old faces here. A Biohazard Declassified. We do go live every week. YouTube, Twitch, Biohazard Declassified. We just don't do it on Facebook anymore. So feel free to jump on over there, drop me a follow. I'm live at the same time. Always great seeing all these returning faces. T-Virus was used in the animated movies. Was that T-Virus? I guess it was. Marino, thank you very much. Ben Sutherland, appreciate you, brother. Cool, I'm nearly caught up, gang. I am 6 minutes from being caught up. Astora Souls has just put a banger of a theory in the chat. I have a personal theory that excuse me. I have a personal theory that Grace is being called special in the trailer. I think they may swing that Alyssa took daylight to cure her infection during Outbreak, and it later turns out that Grace was born with the antibodies for the T virus. Holy shit. Which is hilarious because Outbreak is also the only game that takes the virus meter seriously. Like, it's just assumed in every other Resident Evil, you're just immune to the T virus. So, oh God, imagine that. That would be cool. I might actually write a post on that later, if you don't mind. The Store of Souls. That's a really good point. I think people will really like to hear about that, see that develop. Sorry, we're nearly there, gang. After I've caught up on the comments, we'll watch the trailer again, see if you guys spot anything. Bower mode. Do you think they will keep survival horror elements in RE9? I think that would be moronic to not return it back to survival horror. Looking at the trailer, it does seem quite horror related, potentially. From what I've seen, it looks pretty gritty, looks very scary. I want to see more. Resident Evil Wiki. My pet theory is the Masked Man is hunting survivors of Raccoon City, explaining why the missing persons and Alyssa would connect to Raccoon. Given her mother was infected, Grace could be one of the million mutant women we've had over the years. They kind of had a similar thing with Sherry, didn't they, in Resident Evil 6, where she like repairs herself. So we'll see. Hulk Hogan is the main villain of RE9, brother. Yes. Great point by Kyle Hero from Facebook. Will there be much connection to Village? We'll see, man. I'd like to think they have some kind of connection, whether it actually be the connections in Village or maybe the Hound Wolf Spunk Bubble Squad, whatever they're called. Maybe they return. Maybe Chris returns in Resident Evil 9. Just so many questions. So little answers. That's what I feel. I feel like RE9's been dropped. Like the trailer's been dropped. And I've got even more questions than I had before. Which is good, I guess. A lot of people saying about the underground section of the police station. Is that going to be intact? I think so. It would make sense. Although we did we not see. Oh no, that was the sewers than the lab. I know the lab is definitely destroyed. But yeah, you're probably right. Maybe the underground somewhat survived. That's going to be cool as hell. Again, if I skip over your questions, gang, just re-ask it and I'll try and answer it. A lot of these are kind of the same type of questions, so I'm trying to group them as they're coming in. Bro, that's a Store of Soul just fucking that banger of the comment about Grace has absolutely blown me away. Snake Soakum. Do you think Capcom kind of have a free hit to use Jill till the end of time if we believe Death Island's theory of her reduced aging? I think we would all feel better mentally and physically if we just forget that Death Island exists. The fact that that incarnation of Jill exists is so frustrating to the lore. It makes zero sense. So we're supposed to believe. When was Death Island set? Like 2015, something like that. We're supposed to accept that 16 years later, Jill somehow has kept the same like dress sense, same fashion sense, looks exactly the same, doesn't have the scar from Resident Evil 5 on her chest. We're supposed to believe all of this and believe it to be, yeah, and obviously Jill being an asshole to Chris in Death Island. We're supposed to believe all of this happens and it's canon to the series. No, all they did was they really liked the look of Sasha Zatova and they had no genius way of writing that into the fucking story. Very, very frustrating. And it's perplexing. What sort of like there are people defending this. The sort of mental gymnastics that's involved with explaining why Jill looks the same. They're like, oh well, okay. So the first one, why does she look the same? Oh, reduced aging. from the virus that she had. Okay, let's accept that for one moment. Let's park that theory for the moment. Why does she have the same dress sense? Oh, well, it's just not out of the realms of possibility that she would have the same dress sense as she did 16 years ago, despite Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil Revelations, all of those other Resident Evil games happening in the interim. Unbelievable work. Unbelievable. And then on top of that, where's her scar? Oh, well, the scar from Resident Evil 5. Well, that's not there because she can regenerate like scars. Come on, man, bro. Like, what mental gymnastics is involved with this? Way too much to like suspend your disbelief, dude. Like, just accept Death Island is just this fun little. It was just Sony's way of cashing in on the Avengers, and I was like, let's create this fanfic fucking Wattpad story about all of the Resident Evil characters coming back and all fighting together, and it looked cool. And it did look cool, except now it's destroyed the lore for everyone, and that's why everyone's pissed off with it. I am quickly just going to check on if we've got any super chats, because I'm using Restream. It doesn't always pop up. One thing I will say, we've got over 100 viewers constant on YouTube, which has never happened on a stream that's not been a showcase. So huge shout out to everybody who's watching me on YouTube. Thank you for the mammoth support over there. It's very much appreciated. If this is the first time you're checking us out, my name's Andy. This is Biohazard Declassified, dedicated Resident Evil and survival horror content creator. So if you enjoy the content, feel free to stick around, drop us a follow, drop us a subscription, and man, enjoy the ride. We're in for the journey of a lifetime now. Resident Evil season is now officially upon us. So thank you kindly. I really appreciate you. And if you've got any questions about Resident Evil, jump in the chat. Let me know what you think of Resident Evil 9. We will be going shortly to the trailer and rewatching it and seeing what you guys think. So I just want to quickly check in on the super chats and the subscriptions, because I think I've had quite a few. So one moment. I think it's Twitch. One moment. Uno momento, por favor. Okay, so huge shout outs to Emmy Devil coming in with a resubscription, Rob coming in with the resubscription, and Athena coming in with the 555 community gift subs, as well as raiding us on the stream. That's certainly appreciated, Athena. Thank you for helping us grow in the world of survival horror. It is certainly appreciated. Thank you kindly, everybody, for sticking around and checking the stream out today. We're live on platforms all across the space: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We are absolutely firing off on all cylinders tonight, and I appreciate you. Huge win. I can't believe we're over 100 viewers on YouTube. This has never happened in the history of ever with Biohazard Declassified. This shows you how important Resident Evil Requiem is to the space. People have absolutely yearned for Resident Evil in the space. And here we are. Tim Star, how's it going? That's a big ass comment, brother. I'll try and break it down. Long time no see, Andy. Good to see we're all excited for Requiem. Glad they're using the daughter of Outbreak's Alyssa Ashcroft as one of the characters, and I'm hoping we see more reveals in the upcoming months ahead, including the Leon and Wesker rumors. Begs the question, though, will we see Rose and Chris again? That's a great question. I don't know if we continue the Winter Saga, because that would be a good way of like joining all of the lore up together, but we'll see. I'm not really a fan of the Winter Saga as a storyline. I think it was a complete detachment to Resident Evil, but I do appreciate there's some people in the space that like it. So we'll see. We'll see. I'd like to see Chris in it. If Leon is going to perish in Resident Evil 9, it'd be nice if some iconic characters are there to see him off in a very tactful way. In a very very meaningful way. Cool Sean coming in with the chat. Oh, thank you for your comment, by the way. Do you think RE will be the scariest RE yet? Looking at the art style, it's leaning towards it. I mean, being scary is kind of... what's the word I'm looking for? Subjective. Because there's some games that I find scary that other people won't find scary. So we'll see. If your comment is, are they going to lean more into horror than they have done before? I'd like them to. I think for everything that's good about Resident Evil 4 Remake, it's way too action horror. It needs to be more survival horror. I'll tell you what, gang. Let's get this trailer started. I'm going to minimize myself. If you pick up anything, we're going to watch the trailer at full speed, and then I'm going to put it back in this mode, and we're going to watch it at half speed. And then if you guys pick up on anything you want me to talk about, and you want to talk to everybody in the chat, remember, we're live on 4 platforms. Drop it in the chat. I'll try and bring your comments up as we're going. So this, gang, is the trailer to Resident Evil Requiem that we saw on Friday. Let me blow this up. I'll play it from the start, shall I?
Grace. Grace. Grace Ashcroft.
Yes?
My office.
Coming. If this is about the report you asked for yesterday, it'll be ready in 3. No, 2 days, tops.
Put a hold on that for now. We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating. Now, I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
I need your eyes on the crime scene. The Renwood Hotel. I know that's where your mother was murdered. Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past. Grace.
What is this?
Stay close. They're coming.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Stay away from that! Okay. So it's a weird thing because it feels like they showed us everything and they showed us nothing at the same time. Like very clever trailer from Capcom. We're going to put it at 0.5 speed. And we're just going to slow it right down. If there's anything you guys want me to specifically focus on, we absolutely will. So obviously they're at the FBI headquarters here. I'm not sure who this dude is, but I think Resident Evil Wiki. Let me just quickly check on Resident Evil Wiki. Pretty sure he's already gone into detail of who this is. Nathan Dempsey is the FBI special agent in charge of investigating a string of murders that were related to the Wrenwood Hotel case, a case American journalist Alyssa Ashcroft was investigating before she was murdered. 8 years later, Dempsey tasked Grace Ashcroft into investigating the ruins of Raccoon City. So the Wrenwood Hotel, we still, stub page for the moment. So again, good shit from Resident Evil Wiki, who's in the chat, by the way, I think, still. So if you guys have got any questions for Resident Evil Wiki, obviously drop them in the chat. So I'm going to put this slow. We're not going to have the audio on because obviously I'm bringing up comments on the chat. If you guys spot anything, let me know. Hey, Andy, I just want to explore Raccoon City, especially the RPD. I feel that, Alan. I really feel that. It's going to be good. Let's go back to this, sorry. Fourth victim of unidentified disease. A deceased individual was discovered in an abandoned government office. Preliminary analysis suggests the deceased may be linked to a series of... Oh, fuck. So the thing is, unidentified disease, is it in law that everybody knows what the T virus is? Because that will probably disqualify the T virus from that. Man, the RE engine looks fantastic, doesn't it? Looks glorious. So what is she doing here? Oh, she's clicking her fingers. It looked like she was holding her phone up like that and was going past it. It's so weird watching a trailer in half speed. It's very smooth, though. We should be able to pick up quite a bit from this. Just like looking into the details in the background, there's a lot of stuff that happens very quickly that's very hard to decipher. She looks fantastic, though. Ryan Gray. I'm just going to quickly pause this. I have a theory that she is perhaps a side character with Jill as the main protagonist to assist in her investigation. I feel like something has happened to Leon. What do you think? Any theories? Well, we have had it unintentionally confirmed through sources that Leon is actually the main character. So Leon's the main character and Grace is going to be like kind of like not sidekick, but side character that you play in certain scenarios. But yes, I think something does happen to Leon. I don't have any information about it like through sources, but I feel like If now's the time for Leon to perish, let him perish in Raccoon City. It'd be poetic. So she goes into the office. So this is Nathan Redwood, was it? Nathan Dempsey, excuse me. I know we're watching this without sound, so we're lacking a bit of context, but it's going to sound like shit.
One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating.
That doesn't sound too bad, actually. Vitaly, thank you.
I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
I need your eyes on the crime scene.
Oh, yeah. So, obviously, Nathan Dempsey. You can say, oh, you can't quite see it in the preview that I've got there, but just here, right here, is his name tag. See if we can spot anything here.
I know. That's where your mother was murdered.
There's Alyssa, man. That's crazy. Alyssa Ashcroft's on the RE engine. She looks fantastic. Look at that. Clear as day, man. And then we've got this hooded dude. A lot of people are saying that could be Leon, but I posted the theory earlier and like it got such a mixed reception. People were not on board with that at all.
Alyssa died 8 years ago.
Or actually, did Alyssa die is the question. It's speculative. It's said officially in the story she died, but what if she gets back to the Wrenwood Hotel and she is actually still alive? This is interesting.
Alyssa died 8 years ago.
Could this be a glimpse at the third person element of the game? Like, they haven't confirmed if it's first person or third person or any other form of camera angle. So this section here could be an indication that it's a third person shooter. Because there's Alyssa in third person. But this section right here.
Perhaps it's time for you to face the past.
So that's got to be the Wrenwood Hotel, I take it. The bedroom. Looks like a bedroom from like RE7. So who are these shady characters? So I'm just trying to pause it at the right time. Who are these? Is that like, I don't know. Who could that be? It looks like someone's got some sort of collar here. You can just see it here. Some sort of like the Chris Redfield collar. That kind of thick collar. Very Resident Evil-y with the door.
Grace.
So Grace is upside down here. She's tied up. Why? After this, we're going to... JJ has put out a video on the Residents of Evil, which is like things that you may have missed from Resident Evil 9. So I'm going to watch that with you guys and see if there's anything that JJ has picked up that we haven't. So again, thank you to everybody who's tuned in so far. It's really appreciated. If you're just tuning in, we are going through the Resident Evil 9 trailer, Resident Evil Requiem, and seeing if there's anything I missed from the first time round, if there's anything you guys missed. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Do you love the idea of Requiem so far? Do you hate it? Really appreciate your feedback. I don't know where this I'm assuming this is in that Wrenwood hotel. Hang on.
Stay close.
Right, so missing. Oh yeah, just missing posters. Thought it was more than that. You think Grace being hung upside down is the opening to the game, and maybe it flashes after the prologue to a FBI briefing? Potentially. Yeah, I suppose that's right. Actually, Ryden. There's an assumption that that's where you start the game, but no, that's just a trailer. That's a great point. You could be onto something there, actually. Is she hurt on the same side of the chest, just like Leon was shot in RE2? I'm sure that is just a coincidence. If that is, I don't know. That's got to be quite some mental gymnastics. Made in Heaven. I didn't catch Grace's eye close up like the OG intro. Holy shit. Yeah, man. Love it. Love RE. Man, the RE engine looks glorious. Who is this though? I actually thought it was the guy from Resistance, Daniel Farron, was it? Because he's not been in any Resident Evil game.
The one that I've been searching for.
It doesn't sound like him.
Special one. The chosen one.
Chosen one. What could that mean, gang? What could that mean? So Nicholas has got a good theory here. I think the man in the chair is Brandon Bailey, founder of the Connection organization. He was right hand of Oswald. Excuse me. The right hand of Oswald Spencer, but because of his differing visions of virus, he chose separate with him. Interesting. That's a way of linking it back. I can see that working. Thank you for that, Nicholas. Tom, hi, it's Tom from Facebook. Thank you kindly. A lot of people are saying Spencer, man. I just think that would be so easy to be Spencer. It's just not creatively smart enough for me. It could be a descendant of Spencer. There's a question, like an original character, like they're doing with Alyssa. Grace, excuse me. Look at Raccoon City, dude. Again, nukes don't make craters. This was hit with a thermobaric missile. That's why this can come back to the RPD. And actually, there's an assumption there that she does make it to the RPD, because I don't think there's anything in this trailer to suggest that she is at the RPD. It's only brought up that you're going to need to... Actually, no, it's not brought up at all, is it? Fuck. It's not brought up at all that Grace even goes back to the RPD. This could be like two separate timelines we're working on here. One is Grace going back to the Wrenwood Hotel, and two, someone goes back to the RPD. I don't know who yet, but someone goes back there. Let's assume it's Leon. Carpe Diem, is it really open world? No confirmation yet, my friend, on if it's open world or not.
Getting all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Who is that? Have you seen the same shit I've seen? Doesn't sound like Nick Apostolidis.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
It sounds like a new character, in all honesty. Dude, seeing the RPD is special.
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's
Bro, seeing this was unbelievable.
gone.
Who is this dude? A lot of people say this could be the Regis liquor from the Apple Inn Motel in Outbreak. This looks like Yorick from. Actually, no, he looks like the what's his name? The Arkley Sheriff from Resident Evil 2 remake. Wait, someone said, isn't that the clock tower in the ruins? That'd be ironic that this has more clock tower gameplay than Resident Evil. The Resident Evil 3 remake. I think that'd be hilarious. But no, what you are talking about. Sorry, let me pop that comment up here. What you're talking about, Foon Shinhan. What you're talking about, I'll take it, is this. This thing here. That's the clock tower at the RPD. You know, the one where you go up there and you have to put the cogwheels in Resident Evil 2 remake. That's what you're talking about.
My hope.
Everyone's gone.
It's impressive to see how much withstood the nuke. It wasn't nuked because I think they're going to have such. If they're saying that it has been nuked, I think it's going to be a lot of mental gymnastics to suggest how like it can be. We can go back there without suffering serious, like without being irradiated. Is what I'm trying to say. And Ari Vixie says the same thing. Nuclear crater can leave a crater after detonation, so it's possible it was a nuke. I think it's already been it's already been explored in the lore anyway that it's not a nuclear weapon. But the reason why other places have bounced back, like Hiroshima, Nagasaki, etc., is because obviously they've done a lot to remove the fallout, the turn over topsoil, etc., etc. Oh, are we still okay? Let me just check. We're still. Are we still good? Sorry, I just had a pop on. Just want to check YouTube's still going. YouTube's still going. Cool. Yeah. I just completely lost my train of thought there. I think I had a minor hiccup with the internet just then. I don't know what happened there. But hopefully we're all good. Hopefully you're still receiving me. But yes, yeah, a lot of places have done a lot to kind of like Chernobyl, for example. They turned over a lot of topsoil. They demolished a lot of buildings. Same with Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where obviously Raccoon City's just been left there. So they're going to need to explain that. If it's a nuke, they're going to need to explain that. Yeah, my YouTube app has just completely died. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Yeah, it's just something went wrong. So I assume we are still live on YouTube. Stan, we've got 100 people in the chat, so. Who is this dude, though? Andrew, thank you. Yeah, they say this could be the Regis liquor, this thing here. Actually, so there's two theories here. This could be the Regis liquor, or it could be Lisa Trevor, because allegedly Lisa Trevor doesn't actually die in Resident Evil 1. She like somehow escapes the mansion. I think this is a Regis liquor. Like if you look at the Regis liquor from the Resident Evil Outbreak, it really does. It really does look like it. It's called the suspended. Really looks like it. Contextual gamer. I hope it's Lisa. It'd be good for the story if we brought Lisa back. Like, but what leans into it being Lisa is she's got like a handcuff section just here. Could be, John. We're still exploring. Will you be going to Gamescom to play the demo? I mean, I don't think there's been a confirmation that there is going to be a demo. I'll be covering Gamescom. I don't think I'll be there. I'll definitely be covering it though. And then what is this about? What is this bag over the head shit about? This, and who is this cloaked figure? Is this a new cult maybe? And then this dude. Is he getting strangled? Is he turning into a zombie? What's going on here? Why is he here? Who is it? How Lisa Trevor is crawling on the walls? That's a good question. She could have mutated just like the others. Where is this though? I take it this is the Renwood Hotel. Who is this character? Is this Yoko? A lot of people saying this is Yoko. That's scary as hell. Amazing stuff. I love this art style. Resident Evil Requiem. Once again, thank you. We're just over 100 viewers on YouTube, which is, oh my God, unbelievable. Remember, guys, we're live on all platforms talking about Resident Evil 9. So if you're enjoying the analysis today, you're enjoying the interactions, please don't hesitate to drop us a follow. It's certainly appreciated. We are going to be covering this in depth, extensively over the course of the next 6 to 8 months in preparation for the release of Resident Evil 9. Now, we've got tons of people in the chat. Hope everybody's doing well. Andrew Sorlo's in the chat. Thank you kindly. Hope you're doing well. Great to have you in, brother. Marky Mark, I'm hoping we can play the demo more than once. I'm going to put this back on the screen. If there's anyone that wants me to rescan through it, let me know in the chat and we'll bring it back up. I'm just going to put it on this. We'll put it on something goofy. Yeah, there you go. I'm hoping we can play the demo more than once. I remember the last few were timed and you could play once. That whole one-shot demo shit was so annoying because, to be honest, most people just broke it anyway. Like on the PC version, they just put a trainers together so they could play the whole thing. I think it was dumb having a one-shot demo. On top of that, on console, you could just keep making accounts. So what's the point? Just make it a normal demo. What dumb concept. But yes, you're right. I hope we get a demo and I hope it's good. We had one with Village. I can't remember if we had one with RE4. I think we did. Do you think Leon and Jill are also there? I know Leon is definitely, like, all the insiders are saying that Leon is definitely 100%, 200%, bet your mortgage on it, is the main character for RE9. So I'm hoping so. Hair looks similar to the police officers with the rain cap, wear out and weather, mostly rain. Yeah, but where is that? Is it at the hotel? Who knows? Christine, great to have you in the chat. There's going to be a lot of flashbacks. Yes, I think there's going to be a lot of flashbacks and flash forwards. Exactly what they did with Revelations. Where it was like Claire's there and then Barry's further on and shit. The last zombie is Alyssa in chains. That could be. Alyssa in chains. Not Alice in chains, no. Them bones. Time demos are so lame. Yeah, I agree. I'm a little upset because I wanted Ashley to be an FBI agent, whereas Jake and Sherry. I do want to say that Capcom, like, if you showed me this picture and said it's from a Resident Evil game. Well, actually, not that picture. Let me move it further on. This picture. It's from an upcoming Resident Evil game. Who do you think it is? This could be Ashley Graham. This could be Sherry Birkin. This could be Rose. This could be fucking who's the cocktail waitress from Outbreak? Cindy. This could be anyone, dude. Like, they all look the same. There's a minor annoyance about Capcom and how they display their female characters. They just all look the same. This could be anyone. Like, if you'd have seen a picture of a dude with curtains, you would have gone, oh yeah, it's Leon. Rose, Rebecca, dude, yeah, exactly. This could have been fucking anyone, dude. $30 precinct or hotel demo. Yeah, that's annoying. I think we'd get a hotel demo. I think Capcom are going to want to save the RPD section until you buy the game. There is no doubt in my mind that they show any gameplay for the RPD. They want you to pay for that shit. Okay, so Michael coming in. Lore Wiki confirms the Thermobaric bomb, precision missile. Dude, I cannot talk tonight. I do apologize. Precision missile strikes target. Small explosion releases cloud of explosive material. Second explosion ignites clouds, causing massive blast, vaporizing human bodies. So yes, not a nuclear weapon, thermobaric missile. Andy, remember my theory from earlier about Daylight? Is there not a stark contrast between them both? Alyssa Grace's mother-daughter, to the relationship with Lisa Trevor to her mother then. Both lost their mother. Both are potentially special because of how they resist viruses. You could also say the same for Sherry Birkin as well. They saving RPD gameplay like MGS4 going back to Shadow Moses. Yes, great fucking reference, Ricky. 100%. There's no way we have an RPD demo. I can't see it. Same reason we didn't have a Village demo with Dimitrescu, because they wanted you to buy the game. Yeah, do you know what? I've got a bit of... I might need Resident Evil Wiki to like... Because, again, he's my fucking oracle for Resident Evil. But I'm pretty confident that Jill or an unnamed character in Resident Evil definitely said nuclear bomb or words to that effect that alluded to it being a nuclear bomb at some point in the lore. Can anyone... Actually, this goes to anyone in the chat. Can anyone remember that being the case? I'd love to know. If you're enjoying the video so far, guys, make sure you hit that like button wherever you're watching it today. And of course, if you love Resident Evil and you are going to love the build up to Resident Evil 9, we're going to be covering it in extensive detail. Make sure you're following us on every single platform imaginable. I'm absolutely everywhere. If you've not followed me for years, and this is the first time you're checking this out, my name's Andy. This is Biohazard Declassified, dedicated Resident Evil and survival horror content creator. Do a lot of streams, memes, daily Resident Evil content. So if you're enjoying it, make sure you drop a thumb. Make sure you drop us a follow. Okay, right. Let's go back to some of these questions. Let's pull up the RP. Leave it on that. That's a pretty cool thing to leave it on. Maybe they assumed it was a nuke. That's a great point, Ryden. That may well be the case, actually. Maybe it's Steve in the hood. We haven't seen Steve for a long time. We do know that Wesker had taken his body, if I'm not mistaken. Someone might need to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Resident Evil Outbreak suggests the exclusion zone in 1998 was as great as 6 miles wide. It is uncertain if Angela's Diary in 2005 retconned this, or if the zone was reduced in size over the years. It's entirely possible that the zone was reduced, but at the same time, look at the state of Raccoon City. They've not redeveloped it at all either. There's not like... I'd expect to see like what you're seeing at Chernobyl when they reduced the exclusion zone, where they had like, you know, they turned the topsoil over. They had a lot of construction work around the power plant to kind of start to bring that exclusion zone in to limit the limit the impact that the thermobaric missiles had on the local infrastructure. Where is the picture of Leon? Where's the picture of Leon? I don't think we've seen a picture of Leon. Could be wrong. Ryan, what if there's another underground facility that we've not seen heard about before with the virus, and now someone has gone to it? Maybe passed down to that guy in the wheelchair. Potentially, that's a good thing. I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility that we know that Umbrella owned Raccoon City, so it's not out of the realms of possibility that there are tons more labs underground, because there was already Nest 1. Is it Nest 1 and Nest 2 that was in Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake? It's not out of the realms of possibility is more nests down there where they, pardon the pun, but Umbrella had a hive of different laboratories below Raccoon City. It's not out of the realms of possibility at all. Motlak. Hello, how are you? Do you expect Leon to die? I don't expect Leon to die, but I wouldn't be shocked if he does. I hope that makes sense. Can you play the ending to see what she says? That's a great point. We're going to do that. We're going to play the ending, and on top of that, we're actually going to... So I'm doing this one-handed. Obviously, we have to go on... What's it called? The Resident Evil 3 remake lore.
It's done. Give me the vaccine, you grease son of a bitch.
No. I like it. We should...
Right, so...
If you get me out of here, I'll pay you whatever you want.
Let's have a look.
You're a fool! If I die, you'll never find out the truth.
I don't mind a little detective work.
Vitaly and Tom, thank you for the follows on Twitch. I know what you're saying, the Store of Souls, about remake lore, but we have to assume that this is the lore that they're going to be using for Resident Evil 9.
There he is.
I mean, I understand why people think that's a nuke, because look at it. I'm actually quickly going to look up what a thermobaric missile looks like. Explosion. So I know. We'll do that afterwards.
It's finally over.
So long, Percy.
I felt empty and cold as the heat from the blast washed over us. All this death wasn't caused by a monster making a virus. It was good. Humanoid. I decided then and there, the ashes of Raccoon City would be Umbrella's ashes too. I would end them, once and for all.
Right. So that was actually quite the explosion. Let's have a look at thermobaric missile explosions.
A thermobaric weapon, also known as a fuel air explosive, FAE.
Bro, look at us learning fucking physics in the Biohazard Declassified stream. You won't get this anywhere else, gang. Drop a follow.
Is a type of explosive that utilizes oxygen from the surrounding air to generate a high temperature explosion. The term thermobaric comes from the Greek words for heat, thermo, and pressure, baric. Thermobaric weapons work by dispersing a cloud of flammable material or aerosol into the air and then igniting it. The initial explosion creates a blast wave that compresses and heats the surrounding air, creating a high-temperature explosion with a longer duration and higher energy output compared to conventional explosives.
That must be
These
some.
weapons are known for their ability to produce intense heat and pressure, resulting in devastating effects on structures and personnel within the blast radius. They are particularly effective in enclosed spaces or against targets in fortified positions, but their use is controversial due to the widespread destruction and high casualties they can cause. A thermobaric weapon, also known as a fuel air...
That's interesting because, I don't know, that would have to be some payload. Like, I'm seeing this is shot out of like an what do they call them? Is that what do they call this thing? I can't remember. I'm not like a weapons expert, but it's at the start. Yeah, this thing. What do they call that? I don't know what they call this, but whatever this is. Like, that must be some payload to hit the ground. Like, that must be a huge missile. Because it looks like these cause like very like low level damage or like low area damage. Like that blew up an entire city. Excuse me. That blew up an entire city.
Produce intense.
So yeah, interesting. Interesting stuff. Anyway, back to Resident Evil. Let me just put this on a random shot here. There you go. Look at that. Resident Evil Eye. Love it. Degeneration. Resident Evil Wiki coming in clutch as always. Degeneration was the only one that said nuclear. It was a journalist saying it was allegedly. OG RE3 went with the N2 from Evangelon to avoid angering locals in Japan. Yeah, that makes total sense. They still censor a lot, didn't they? With regards to nuclear weapons, like I think they removed the mission from Fallout for that exact reason. Capcom employs people from Hiroshima. The same bomb was used in RE Village by Chris, who actually calls it N2. So it sounds like Capcom is sticking to its guns with not a nuke. However, I should add, this was only a story note, so it can easily be ignored if needed. That makes sense. Lauren, isn't that the police station? It certainly is. It certainly is. Thank you for tuning in. Knowing Resident Evil, the hooded person won't be any returning character. It'll be some random new character. Yes. I don't know who it could be. I think it would have to be an original character, Scott. You're right. Just catching up on some of these comments, gang. Do you think Resident Evil 10 would be the last one and ending a legacy characters, wrapping up the stories? I like the idea of all of them in a final game like Death Island. I don't know. We'll see what the land lies after Resident Evil 9. It's hard to say. I think this might be the last mainline Resident Evil. I just have a feeling. Maybe they wanted people to think it was a nuke. For all we know, another virus could have gone down with that nuke and layered itself over the city. Again, great point, Ryan. I think that is a real possibility. Oh, wow. They say it's a cruise missile in the Japanese version. Nukes don't use cruise missiles because they can get shot down easily since they fly over land. Hey, Caleb, how are you? Ah, so this is some good shit, actually. I know we're talking all about weapons. Reports indicate that China have developed and tested a new non-nuclear explosive device that uses magnesium hydride to create a sustained high-temperature fireball. This device is being referred to in reports as a non-nuclear hydrogen bomb. So that makes sense. So this is really answering our queries as to why you can go back to Raccoon City, or it's implied that Grace is going back to Raccoon City. It's not actually shown that she does go back to Raccoon City. It just shows the devastated Raccoon City. So you can go back there because it's not a nuclear weapon. It's the overarching point to this. Alec, how are you? Great to have you in the chat. Resident Evil 9 coming out on console in 2026. Yes, the likelihood is, I think I'm going to be that guy. This is probably not coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. I think now, it's 12 years since the PS4 came out. I know it's got a huge install base still, but Capcom have really got to jump on board with next gen or current gen, because if you still have to develop older ports, you're not necessarily taking full advantage of the newer hardware. I don't think that's an unrealistic guess to say that RE9 will not be on PS4. Oh, Andy, Resident Evil has just posted on X and shown a shot of the damaged RPD. Now, is this the same shot that we've seen? Probably, but we could have some breaking news here, gang, so just bear with me. Because Capcom did drop a lot of press, pictures on the press. So give me a second. Oh, yeah, that's the picture from the press. Let me just put that on the big screen so you guys can see it. Try and blow it up for you. Oh, you can't quite see it, but yeah, it's pretty much the video, but actual high quality art. It looks really cool. There's the RPD letters just there, just off screen that you're seeing. Is it going to use the next RE engine? Yeah, it's using the RE engine. You can tell it's RE engine. It just has that look about it. The way they do photogrammetry and all that sort of thing, it just looks like.
I know now.
Let me put that back on the screen that I wanted. There you go. Yeah. Do you know what? Andrew Sorlo actually spoke about this on stream. He said, I hope that they actually do go back to Raccoon City and it's not just them teasing us. Like, you're going to get it in maybe Alyssa's talking about it in a cutscene and it just flickers back to a destroyed Raccoon City. I think that'd be very cheap and annoying from Capcom. I'd like to think we do go back there. That would be really shit, wouldn't it, actually? Like the ultimate bait and switch. I really don't like the idea of that. Sorry, 2 seconds, gang. Okay. Amber, how's it going? Great to have you in the chat. Welcome in. Oh, this is why I love Resident Evil Wiki, man. The FBI field office we see in the trailer looks a lot like the in real life San Diego field office. It looks like the RE version is called the Midwest field office. If you squint at the sign in 4K, so we at least know what city Grace lives in. Let's have a quick. Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, I can't. It looks like it says Midwest field office in the bottom left-hand corner. Just Can't see it clear enough. Capcom confirmed Leon in the trailer. I think he's one in the hood. Have you got a receipt for that? Because I have not. I've not seen that anywhere. So it'd be good to know. Thermobaric comes in various sizes. Some models can be carried on armored vehicles. That makes sense. Sorry, 2 seconds, gang. Whilst you're doing this, I'm going to quickly do something on FBG. Cool. Okie dokie. Dude, 124 people over on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We go live every Friday, every Sunday. Friday, we're going to be playing some Silent Hill Origins, and Sunday, we're back playing. I think we're playing Resident Evil Revelations. We've had a couple of weeks off, but we are firmly back with the release of Resident Evil 9. It's been absolutely insane. The interactions I've had, just the gross impressions across all my socials. People, this isn't me gloating or anything like that. I don't want to say, I don't want to get like push the wrong message, but what I'm trying to say is people really want to see this, and everything RE9 related has just been eaten up. Like, as I said, something like 13 million impressions I've had in a single day on Facebook for Resident Evil 9. Put that in perspective, gang. In 2023, my gross impressions for the year, bearing in mind that Resident Evil 4 came out, my gross impressions for the year on Facebook in 2023 was 15 million. And in a single day on Friday, I got 13 million impressions on Facebook. People really want to see RE9. I cannot stress. And actually, even on Twitter, I think Twitter is something like, I will tell you the figure. Again, this is not me gloating or anything like that. This is just me telling you how important a modern Resident Evil game is. Yeah, so 1.9 million impressions I've had in the last. Actually, let me put that. That's the last 7 days. 1.9 million impressions. Now, Twitter for me, I normally sit around like 100,000 impressions, 200,000 impressions. 1.9 million in less than a week, assuming most of that was going to be on that on June 7th. June 6th / June 7th. Yeah, 1.3 million impressions on one day. So people really want to see RE9. People want to see it succeed. People are hungry for information. And actually, we are doing a record number on YouTube right now. 125 viewers, live viewers over on YouTube right now. This is just an analysis stream. We're not playing a game. We're not doing anything. We're just talking about the potential of Resident Evil 9. This is insane. Thank you all so much. If you've got any thoughts whatsoever, you're tuning into my stream for the first time and you've never even written in a stream before, you normally lurk or whatever, get involved in the chat. I'll try my best to bring your comments up. We will discuss what you're thinking in detail, I promise you. Yes, madam. Yes, Amber. We are dissecting everything to do with Resident Evil 9. Just chatting with like-minded fans. I find that a lot of channels, a lot of not necessarily specific to Resident Evil, but a lot of content creators, especially the larger ones, they will tell you what they think. And actually, yes, of course, you might tune into my streams to know what I think, but it's really important to gauge from the community what they think, what you guys think. It's not just my opinion. I'm just some dude who loves Resident Evil like you guys. I just have a platform to output it to. So your opinion is just as important as mine and other content creators in the space. So that's why streams like this, I'm going to do a lot of, and really capitalize on talking with you guys about what you think about Resident Evil 9. Where do you think it's going? Are you happy? Are you sad? Every single minute detail that comes out, we're going to cover in detail, gang. We're going to cover it across the platforms. So, as I said, drop a cheeky follow, get on board, because the train for Resident Evil 9 has officially left the station. Juan, excuse my ignorance, but is Requiem number 9 in the series? Yes, Juan, it certainly is, because if you go to the end, it's Requiem, and you'll see the lettering. 9? Yeah. Friend, I'll see if I can bring it up for you here. It's very hard to see, but I'm going to slow it right down. Mute this so it's not annoying. You'll see it. There you go. 9. So it's definitely Resident Evil 9. Go away, champ. Will we see you streaming more on Facebook? Potentially. Potentially. I mean, I might just go live on Facebook for the fun of it. Just for, because it's not really a difficult, where I use Restream anyway, it's not a difficult thing for me to set up. It's just, I do want to like Facebook for me now. I'm very grateful for the interactions I get through photo reels, all that sort of things. But I'm very much like trying to build a presence on YouTube and Twitch and just continue to build my socials. So I probably will stream a little bit more, but it won't be like super priority. And obviously, if you comment on it, I'll definitely pick it up because I've got a chat box that combines everything anyway. We'll think about it, my friend, is what I'll say. Hey, Caffeine, thank you for tuning in. I trust you're excited as much as I am for the release of Resident Evil Requiem. So Josh has got a great point here. They dropped the numbers after 7 so people wouldn't feel like they were left out. I think this is good because we had a couple of comments here. I may have missed them where people were saying, do I need to have played the previous Resident Evils to like this one? And that's a great point. Like whenever I see, for example, I don't know, actually Silent Hill's a great one. So like I didn't play any of the Silent Hills until maybe like 3 or 4 months before Silent Hill 2 remake. So I'm at a point now where I've played all of the original Silent Hills, but I'm still going through the American Silent Hills. And that was really important for me because I felt like, man, do I need to have played Silent Hill to like the next game? And actually, no, you don't. And Resident Evil is kind of similar. They are kind of like definitely 7 Village, definitely standalone titles, I would suggest. They cater to not just Resident Evil fans, they cater to the wider audience, is what I'll suggest. Mince, thank you kindly. Appreciate that. Yeah, I have a feeling that Alyssa isn't actually gone. She's just presumed dead. Yes, there's no there's confirmation that she quote unquote died by that Nathan fellow, but there's nothing to say that yes, she is actually dead. You didn't see a body or anything. Andy, do you think the hooded figure is Manny Pacquiao? There is a bit of lore behind this. So Alex O'Neill, who wrote the fantastic book called Itchy Tasty, A History of Resident Evil, actually joined us on the Rose stream to kind of give his instant feedback to what happened at the event because he was at Summer Game Fest. So he gave a little bit of insight. Again, he's like an oracle of Resident Evil 2. And it turns out Alex, for whatever reason, Alex was going to meet Manny Pacquiao for an event. And like, he kind of turns up at his house and like Manny Pacquiao, like one of the goats, is just randomly on a row stream and he's like saying hello and everything. So it was like the most like bizarre crossover you would have never imagined like 12 hours before that event. It's kind of funny. my favorite fan theory of the Masked Man is he's actually fake Leon from Gaiden. That's crazy work. That would be well funny if that was the case. Could Leon die where it all started and become a boss? I still think that's so poetic for them not to explore. Not becoming a boss, but certainly dying. I know people don't necessarily want Leon to die. I totally get that. But wouldn't that be interesting, gang? Wouldn't it be interesting to finally see Leon perish? I mean, come on. Andy, do you think the hooded guy could be Billy Cohen from RE7? Potentially. Everything's on the table, man. It's so hard. All we've literally got is like his mouth. That could be anything. It's very hard to say. Dickie, how's it going? Great to have you in the chat. My headcanon is to the day about RE7's Redfield is Mother Miranda disguised as Chris, but forgot what he looked like. Yeah, I don't know why that version of Chris Redfield exists. That's kind of annoying. It's a great question here. Why Leon out of everybody? I think out of everyone, Leon has a very unique journey because he arrived in Raccoon City very naive, and it was his first day on the job, and he was forever traumatized. Like, you could suggest that Leon going into Raccoon City, his life altered on that day. What would Leon be doing now if he didn't go through that Raccoon City experience? I would say quite a lot. Like, that completely course corrected his life. So, and I'm a big believer, like, someone who is a rookie cop should not be surviving Raccoon City. There were veteran cops that did not survive Raccoon City. So is it out of the realms of possibility that the next game in the series where they go back to Raccoon City and it's Leon, we are assuming it is Leon, it hasn't been confirmed, but let's assume it is, that it's kind of like Final Destination, that death takes back what it lost. You know, I think that'd be kind of cool. And out of all of this is what I keep saying, gang, like, it's these aging characters, it's very hard to have any sort of further character development with them because Leon has gone through everything. He's gone through being infected. He's gone through being a naive cop. He's gone through every challenge imaginable. What more can you do with the Leon S. Kennedy character? I don't think there is a lot. It's very tough to see what you can do next with that. So just coming through these comments here. It's a great point. So do we actually think that Wesker, I'm actually going to start to round the stream off here. Actually, I do want to, we won't round it off just yet. There is one more video I want to watch. There's a bit of a reaction. That is JJ put up a video and it was kind of like things you missed in the Resident Evil demo. The Resident Evil trailer, excuse me. So let's see what he said, and then we'll take a few more comments and then we'll start to round off the stream. Is the Resident Evil lore linked with other games? Please expand on that, 88 Blue, because I'm not sure what you mean. Do you think Wesker's alive? God, let's all talk about that. Everybody, let me know in the chat. Everyone that's watching, even if you've never commented in a stream before, is Wesker coming back? Put a thumbs up for yes and a thumbs down for no. Here we go. So this is JJ's video. We're going to watch this and see if we gain any more knowledge to what we have been discussing today.
We're breaking down the reveal trailer for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Capcom just dropped the first footage, and there's a lot to dig into. From returning locations to new characters, this might be the most psychological and lore-heavy Resident Evil we've seen to date. So with that being...
Actually, that's a brilliant point. Just before we start off, it was noted in the press release, and I'll read it out to you, actually. The exact wordage that they said. I think this is very interesting knowledge to glean. Again, huge shout out to the over 100 viewers we've got on YouTube who are just tuning in to watch me talk about Resident Evil 9. This is glorious. There's an absolute sky high record for something that's not an event, like a showcase event where you expect to generally get high viewership. A lot of people coming in just to hear me talk about Resident Evil is very wholesome. So honestly, I really appreciate everyone's support. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, the official wordage that they had on the Capcom press portal. So if you don't know, you guys can get access to this. It's called the Capcom press portal. So every time they put a press release out or art or anything like that, it comes on this website called the Capcom Press Center. And they've got a press release. They've got official PNG logos, artwork, got loads of stuff. So actually, let me put to a less distracting image here. One moment. There we go. Right, so in their official press release on the website, it says here, Resident Evil Requiem takes the series back to the iconic Raccoon City. So there's confirmation that no, they're not just doing a flyover from a vision. It takes you back to the iconic Raccoon City, home of the biological disaster that shook the world, combining deeply terrifying aspects of psychological horror with pulse-pounding action that franchise fans know and love. So there is your official confirmation that this is not an action horror game. This is a psychological horror game that will take you back to Raccoon City. Not in a flashback, not in a quick pan from a cutscene that's never mentioned again. We, according to Capcom directly, we are going back to Raccoon City, and it's going to be psychological horror. So a couple of key information gleaned on that. Okay, let me catch up on the chat here. Actually, let's watch this video, and then we'll do a last round of Q&A, and then we'll start to turn the stream off. So let's see what JJ picked up and if it's different from what we were talking about.
Opens inside FBI headquarters. We meet Grace Ashcroft, a technical analyst and the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, the investigative journalist from the Resident Evil Outbreak series. Grace is pulled into a disturbing new case by FBI Director Nathan Dempsey after the discovery of a body matching a series of unexplained deaths. The location, the Redwood Hotel, the same place where her mother was murdered 8 years earlier. Who is Alyssa Ashcroft? Alyssa survived the Raccoon City outbreak in 1998 and helped expose Umbrella's crimes through her journalism. In Outbreak, she was infected with the Epsilon strain of the T-virus, but survived thanks to the rare vaccine known as Daylight. That's important because Daylight was capable of halting viral progression entirely, and could even be shared between people. There's a theory that Grace may have inherited some genetic resistance or immunity, which would...
Ah, there you go. So that was... Let me unpin this comment. Thank you very much for that comment. So JJ did pick up on that, Astora cells. Having that genetic composition that breaks down the T-virus.
Explain why she's referred to as the Chosen One in
There you go.
In the trailer. That scene could also potentially be a flashback to Alyssa, so we'll touch on that more in a bit. The Redwood Hotel appears to be the main setting for the opening chapters. Grace is sent to investigate, but it's more than just a crime scene. It's the site of her mother's last investigation and death. We see flashes of Alyssa in the RE engine graphics, suggesting we may play through her final moments, possibly through flashback segments similar to Resident Evil 7. A detail worth mentioning, during one of the flashback scenes in the trailer, we catch a glimpse of what appears to be room 201, which ties directly to the Apple Inn Hotel from Resident Evil Outbreak's Hellfire scenario.
Oh, I must have missed this.
That detail may be more than a visual callback. It could suggest a direct link between the Wrenwood Hotel and the Apple Inn. This isn't just fan service. Capcom seems to be stitching together pieces from across the series. This may not even be the Wrenwood Hotel, but a flashback to Outbreak. Grace is shown strapped to a gurney.
Do you know what? I didn't even think about that. I did not think about that.
Cut open and terrified, clearly experimented on. Her eye color even shifts, which might hint to an infection, hallucinations, or something worse. The theme of facing the past is front and center. Whether it's Grace, Alyssa, or the return to Raccoon City, it's all about unearthing horrors that were buried. Now, who is the villain? One of the scenes in the trailer shows a man by a fireplace telling Grace she's the chosen one. He wears a black leather coat and gloves, very reminiscent of Wesker's Resident Evil 5 look, but his face, voice, and accent don't match. Some fans believe he resembles a younger version of Oswald E. Spencer, seen briefly in Resident Evil Resistance, and here's where things get interesting. We know Wesker killed Spencer during the Lost in Nightmares DLC in Resident Evil 5, seemingly putting an end to the founder of Umbrella, but Spencer was obsessed with achieving eternal youth and immortality. There's now speculation that he may have found a way to transfer his consciousness or extend his life unnaturally, possibly through viral experimentation. If he somehow survived in some form, it is possible he's returned to his underground lab beneath the ruins of Raccoon City, first hinted at in Outbreak's post-credit scene. And what is the key to continuing that research? Daylight, the vaccine that cured Alyssa Ashcroft. If Grace inherited that immunity, her blood may now be the missing link in Spencer's quest for immortality.
Oh, what a banger. I can see that. I can really see that.
That would explain why she's been kidnapped and experimented on, and why she's the one being hunted. The other missing people could be survivors of the Outbreak incident that also took the Daylight vaccine, but it may not have bonded with their blood the same way it did with Grace.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. So the cultists could be trying to track down the remaining people that survived Outbreak because they've got the cure in their blood.
This wouldn't just tie together the Ashcroft legacy, the Wrenwood Hotel murders, and Umbrella's history, it could also bring the series full circle, back to the founder who started it all. Later in the trailer, we get a huge reveal. The ruins of Raccoon City, now officially set in around 2026, this would be 27 years after the city's destruction, and while some fans assumed Raccoon was nuked, lore confirms it was destroyed by a thermobaric missile, not radioactive, meaning it's still accessible. In the post-credits scene of Outbreak, we saw that Umbrella built a research facility in the crater of Raccoon City that never came back until potentially now. This could explain the return to the ruins, as Capcom seems ready to dig into Umbrella's hidden legacy. We even see Leon's wrecked Jeep outside the RPD gate.
Oh shit, yeah, you do.
We do hear several distinct voices throughout the trailer.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Some speculate that this could be Chris Redfield.
I mean, there's nothing to say that those voices aren't just the Outbreak characters. Like, they could be Mark, David, etc. There's nothing to say that's not the case.
Jill Valentine, Ada Wong, and Leon Kennedy, but it could also be other characters from the Outbreak series or new characters altogether.
Always on the same page, me and Joe.
One voice does sound very much like Alyssa Ashcroft, and another voice sounds like it could be a young Grace, possibly from a memory or hallucination.
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Capcom's being very careful about what they're revealing up front, and clearly there's more going on behind the scenes.
Who is that dude?
Now let's move on to the new enemies and monsters. There is a giant chained woman crawling from the ceiling, and there's a few possibilities on who this could be. Some speculate it could be Lisa Trevor, who survived the blast of the Spencer Mansion and the blast of Raccoon City, and is now roaming the ruins. It could be a flashback to the Regis liquor from the Outbreak scenario at the Apple Inn. Or it could be a mutated Alyssa Ashcroft. She may have been experimented on the same way Grace was, and it was a failed experiment, turning her into a creature that you now have to kill. How dark would that be to have to kill your own mother? What do you guys think it is? Let me know down below in the comments. There's a man being suffocated with a plastic bag by a black cloak.
Bag? A plastic bag? The hell, JJ? What was that?
cloaked killer? This may be the same guy we see sitting at the fireplace. Some speculate that the cloaked figure seen throughout the trailer might be Leon Kennedy. He's been long rumored to return in Resident Evil 9, and Capcom has yet to confirm or deny it. While there's a chance it's him, possibly infected or manipulated, I personally don't believe it. The character's build and demeanor feels off, and the trailer seems to be positioning this figure as something far more sinister. And a police officer who is turning into what looks to be a zombie. This could be a flashback sequence to Outbreak. There seems to be a focus on hallucinations, surgeries, and ritualistic killings, hinting at the experimental viral strains or psychological manipulation. We do seem to see a lot of people in suits being killed, so I'm not sure what that's in reference to. If you guys know, let me know. Now moving on to the game structure and characters, Capcom confirmed Requiem is single player and built in the RE engine with photorealistic details and enhanced character rendering, but they haven't confirmed whether the game is first person or third person. The trailer shows a mix of cinematic angles, but the actual gameplay perspective is still a mystery. There's speculation that it could be a hybrid system, possibly switching characters like in Resident Evil 8, but nothing official yet. So what's next? Capcom says Resident Evil 9 Requiem will launch February 27th, 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam. A demo is confirmed for Gamescom in August 2025. The tagline, Requiem for the Dead, Nightmare for the Living, and with ties to Alyssa, Daylight, Raccoon City, and Umbrella's buried secrets, it feels like this will close the book on the past by digging it up. We'll be sure to keep you updated on all the latest Resident Evil 9 Requiem news. So there you have it, our full breakdown of Resident Evil 9's revealed trailer. Let us know your theories down below. Do you think Grace is immune? Is that Spencer behind the scenes? And how deep does the Umbrella connection go? Let us know down below in the comments, and let's have a discussion about it. If you're excited for Resident Evil 9, please leave a like, and for all the latest news, speculation, rumors.
Okay. So that was a lot to chew on, a lot of things to think about as well. I mentioned to JJ about the difference in the timelines. Resident Evil 4 remake is the key start of the intros differ. One talks about the fall of Umbrella, the other doesn't. Yeah, I always found that annoying about the original Resident Evil 4. It's just kind of like, oh, Umbrella's finished. Like, got taken off stock market and just died. Like, really? This is the monolithic corporation that underpins Resident Evil, just dies off screen. Come on, brother. But you're right, 100%. Guys in suits getting killed sound like someone's got a hit list to work through. Possibly former Umbrella executive, the Ouija. What a fucking theory that is. I think you might be onto something there, brother. I really do. Really do. That could be something. There's something to do with cults and ritualistic killings, so we'll see. I think that'd be interesting. Yeah, Ryan ironically mirroring the same style. Could be ex hype officials of Umbrella. We'll see. And maybe the people that are dying just happen to be former employees of Umbrella. That would be really interesting, I think. But is there anything, guys, that I've spoken about or haven't spoken about that you'd really like for us to cover? Because I appreciate we've probably swamped everyone with information here. Inevitably, a lot of this is theory based because we've only got like 1 3-minute trailer to go off. So we're trying to work things out as we're going. But if there's any other questions, please let us know. And of course, make sure you're following us. We're going to be covering it in depth on socials and of course on our streams weekly. Is Alyssa confirmed dead? Maybe it's her in the cloak. Again, it could be like that Resident Evil 5 Jill Valentine, you know, where she's got the mask on and shit. I can see that being the case. They're FBI agents, part of the team Grace is on, a technical analyst. Yes. Oh my God. Why didn't I think of that? You're right. I was wondering that. Why would they send a technical analyst to a location by herself? Obviously, she's going to be strapped, I'm sure. But this dude, maybe, yeah, this has to be an FBI agent. This dude here and
people in suits being killed. So I'm not.
This dude here. So the people in suits, scrap the Umbrella employee thing. I think that's more accurate. They send Alyssa to a location, obviously with people with her who are competent people, and they just all get taken out sequentially by this cult person. I can see that being the case. 1 or 2 more trailers. How many more do you think we get? I think it gets shown at Gamescom. I think maybe we even get a demo at Gamescom, because February is not that far away. So definitely something at Gamescom, and then maybe we get something at the Game Awards at the back end of the year, like most anticipated Game Award or something. And then, of course, February, that's when they launch. What are your thoughts on Capcom incorporating a character from the Outbreak games, and why now of all time? I think they're just trying to bring the series full circle. There's so many different parts to Resident Evil now, so many different eras of Resident Evil, and this is their way of kind of threading the eye of a needle through all of the different Resident Evil games, because they've unified the lore with the remakes, and I suppose something they haven't unified is the Outbreak games. So I can see that being the case. Grace could be assigned to Leon. Again, another huge comment. I definitely see that potentially being the case. Maybe they're like, oh, we need to send you into this area. We know somebody that is proficient in handling these types of events. Out pops Leon S. Kennedy. What would y'all rather? First person or third? Having an option to choose, like an RE Village, would be awesome. I definitely think third person. I think if you're going to play as multiple characters, very little reason to be first person, because you don't see the character. So what's the point? To me, Resident Evil is a third person game. It's not a first person game. I prefer playing the third person Resident Evil games. So to me, I'd be very disappointed if it was first person. If they let us choose, that'd be cool. They did in Village, or they eventually coded it into the game. But I think the ultimate compromise would just be make it both first and third person. Let you choose. Oh, I do apologise, guys. It's been a long day. Although there were sequences with Alyssa where it looked like the camera was following her, so maybe it is third person. Annoyingly, I think on Steam. Is it on Steam? I think it's on Steam. Resident Evil Requiem. It is on Steam. Visit the store page. Requiem for the Dead. Nightmare for the Living. So the tags. Ooh. Is this the tags? Oh, user defined tags. I'll ignore that. If it was an official tag, I would have been like blown away. I'm just having a look back through here. A new era of survival horror begins in 2026 is what's on the Steam page. So again, leaning into it being survival horror, not action horror. Not that there was any doubt in my mind anyway. Yeah, I can't see. They've got all the press photos on there, but yeah, I thought they had tags on Steam and it would tell you if it was a first or third person shooter. But what do you guys think? First or third person? Changes with Wesker. Yeah, this is a good point. So at the end of Resident Evil 4 Remake, they was kind of teasing something with Wesker. Does that mean that it's not Resident Evil 5 and it could be Resident Evil 9? Absolutely. I can see that. Am I going to Gamescom? I don't have it in my schedule that I'm going. If there is a big enough reason, I'll try. But I'm not at present. No, I'll be covering it on here or on Row, depending on where I'm needed. But yeah, as it sounds right now, probably not. If they release a demo or there's talk of a demo at Gamescom, then I'll try and make it. Can't wait for RE10 to tell us what happened to Lot and Lily from Sheena Island. Vincent, it's your mother. What a fucking weird game that was. Perfect time for an Outbreak remake. I'm leaning into this. I even put it on my Twitter that maybe, because it's always like a multiplayer element, right? Or at least there has been recently with RE-verse, Resistance. What if... Oh, I'm so sorry, gang. It's a lot of talking in 2 hours. What if their multiplayer element is remade DLC from Outbreak? I'd dig that, dude. Even some original scenarios. Just throw 4 players into a world and they've got to fucking figure out how to get from the start to the end, solving puzzles and shit. Easy fucking money. And they've got most of these assets already in the RE engine anyway. Yeah, I have a feeling, Amber, that they will only launch it on the current gen, so Xbox Series S, PS5 and PC, I would have thought. Thinking that they are done with first person is that was more of an Ethan Winters thing. I really hope so, Chris. I really hope so. I'm really not a fan of first person Resident. I'm a fan of first person games, just not first person Resident Evil. I think it's past point of no return, to be honest. It's just not Resident Evil for me. If you zoom in on the man in the chair, Sam, it looks identical to Wesker's sleeve and glove from RE5. Same texture. Oh, the Wesker Midnight suit? I can see that. Let's bring it up on screen. It's here, I think. Yeah, this bit. I can see that. I can see that. What do you think the next remake will be? I think it's probably going to be Code Veronica. It's a bit of an open secret. Hey, Hard 4. I've got a really interesting theory. Let me know it, brother. We'll extend it out to the community. Again, huge shout out to the over 100 viewers we've got on YouTube right now. Remember, guys, we will be back live next Friday. We're going to be continuing our playthrough of Silent Hill Origins. If we get any news beforehand, we'll probably do a quick, RE9 analysis segment of the recent update, and then we'll move on to Silent Hill Origins. So, and then Sunday we're back playing Resident Evil. So if you love Resident Evil, if you love survival horror, please stick around on the channel, drop a subscription, hit the bell icon, do all that fun stuff. So every time I go live, you guys are notified. Excuse me. Derek's come up with an interesting question. I don't understand why we need any more remakes. Can't we just enjoy new games and let the originals stand on their own without getting replaced? We won't have original games again. I'm in agreement and in disagreement. So I think that they wanted to do a Resident Evil remake series of games because they wanted to unify the lore. Whether they've been successful in that is to be discussed, obviously, but that's their vision, is to bring these iconic games to modern platforms and tell the story the way they wanted to. It's a fresh set of eyes on it, new writers, new games design. There's been over 25 years of game design since the first Resident Evil come out. So I think that makes sense in my mind. But I'm also in agreement that because they keep relying on these old games, they're not producing anything original. So, like, for example, it's a great point, actually, because when I heard about Resident Evil 4 remake, I already knows what happens in RE4. So it's like when Doc Salvador turns up, I know him. When Sadler turns up, I know him. When Krauser turns up, I know him. Ada's and Leon's relationship, I already know it because I know Resident Evil 4 like the back of my hand. So when a game like Resident Evil 9 comes out, it makes me genuinely quite interesting because I don't know where they're going to take it. It's an original concept. I don't know what direction they're going in. It's completely fresh for me for the first time ever. That's why I like the idea of original stories. But there's something about remakes which have a certain interest to them. We get to experience the same story in a slightly different way. Yeah, you're not so you're not the first person to say this, Hardcore. I'm convinced the main villains here are the Connections, and their founder, Brandon Bailey, is the only one who's almost confirmed to still be alive. I believe he's the guy in the chair. I think Nicholas said it in the chat, said exactly the same thing. So do not be shocked if that's him, because it's kind of like the last chess piece, right? Hey, Lientjek, hi, just joined the chat, so maybe this has already been asked. The voices of the end of the trailer, are they Jill's, Leon's, and Chris's? Let me just refresh my memory as to what you're talking about. The end, was it?
Please know that you...
Let me listen to it again.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
I think that is Brandon Bailey. The more people keep saying it, the more I'm believing it.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to
I assume you're meaning this.
keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
I think they're all Outbreak characters. I don't think they're the original characters. Like, characters from Outbreak. If they've got Alyssa in, it's not out of the realms of possibility that they got the others in as well. I've never played Outbreak. Do you think you can stream it? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've streamed Outbreak historically. But we'll definitely obviously do more Outbreak as we I might even put my retrospective series on hold to play some Outbreak for you guys now that we're back in the driving seat for Resident Evil. Could the guy in the hoodie be Steve? It could be. We know that Wesker took his body, so not out of the realms of possibility. Oh, this is what's so beautiful about like a release. We just genuinely don't know. We're just speculating. I had a dude on my Facebook earlier who was like speculating. He said something along the lines of like speculating for children and let's all wait until the games drops to find out. And it's like, I'm literally a Resident Evil content creator. Like, have I just got to sit quiet for like 8 months? I'm not allowed to talk about it because one dude said I couldn't because he didn't want to. I don't know. That's weird. Why do you care if somebody else is speculating on Resident Evil 9? Like, when did that become fucking illegal? It was such a bizarre interaction. Like, you just can't deal with them type of people. Just move on with your life. If you don't want to follow my analysis, it's fine. I'm okay with that. Don't watch the news, I guess. If you don't want people to, don't follow a dedicated Resident Evil page if you don't want us to speculate on what's coming out. Very bizarre. Stay close to me.
Please
Where is
know
that?
that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Is it further on than me?
Stay away from that!
Hallway? First shot with the curtains. Hang on. Where's the hallway? Have we got a timestamp for that to make it easier? Oh, this one. Hang on.
Hey! Help!
Stay close.
Stay close. Who does someone thinks that's someone? Hang on. Keep your voices down. It's 1000% Mel Dandridge, Alex Vance from Half-Life, and Marlene from The Last of Us.
They're coming.
know now that you're the one that...
226.
Hey! Help!
Stay close.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know who that could be. I really don't.
They're coming.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please know that you are my hope.
I think they're Outbreak characters, gang. I really do. Oh, well. We'll start to round the stream off, guys. Again, like, I've had a total explosion over on YouTube. I genuinely appreciated everybody who's tuned into the chat. Obviously, everybody's watching on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, etc. All appreciated as always. If you do enjoy this type of content and you love following Resident Evil content creators and survival horror content creators, do drop us a follow. It will certainly be appreciated. And man, we are only just starting the journey in Resident Evil Requiem. I think it's Luke. I think it sounds like an unnamed Outbreak character. It really does, in my opinion. But yes, honestly, gang, we've had a fucking banger of a stream today. 3 hours talking about a brand new Resident Evil. And we don't know what's coming next. To keep up to date with me directly, I'm all over social media. It's very hard to not be able to contact me, basically. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are the main ones. So drop me a follow. All handles are at Biohazard Declassified. And join us in this journey, man. As I said, the train has officially left the station for Resident Evil Requiem. And the question is, are you on the train or are you off it? If you want to be on it, drop a follow today and let's all fucking enjoy this journey together as we break down everything to come in Resident Evil Requiem. Thank you, honestly, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Look after yourselves wherever you are in the world, and join me next Friday, same sort of time. Mark it in your diaries. Next Friday, we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Silent Hill Origins. Thanks again, everybody. Look after yourselves and be well. We'll see you all very, very soon.